Ago. Ago. Aguan numwe.
Ago. Wakago. Watwa. Umanya blao. Umanya blao. Kome. Wakengmene ashime. Mene ho, ni ma ho, na ma ho. Boloma uo. Boloma wu. Bomono bo hwen. Keshipon. Kemini bi fia kwa no kefe, hino ka de satana. Boklenke wocho no jo wodane no mene bi ho, ni ma ho, na ma ho ni. Ake no fe no koni wa bi ka tuma wo keje ma waji ano. Ka de bo ni bi fia kwa no woni tin ahye no. Wakago wo keje ma waji fenye blue wocho ni. Kade lama keto butu aplau kade butu aplau ba gbeshulao na wole ma kulidi ai boni wale nyi yabo no be boni cho ko me enyo eje bibi ke wujene fi akwa ncho ni chawo trome akeke robe chawe ni o chawe kozi ko chawo blow for you atancha o hwencha o ma ncha cha osuwo osuna du koto majan ncha gbonge asabli jajaja wule akpodingla baseyo degmeyo kemeyo Incha kuku ashikuashi inframantu ahunu basako atancha oshencha onma incha akla agovwe ahunu pa ahunu bia ye blubu ni bada na ekonye no anya amanya afi wono mena gbi ho ni ma ho na ma ho ni Ito akutu ke ngafe okropon samanya menye dani ge shoshi hanye ne chia na ncha oshencha onma apontu ko fincha oshencha onma ogbe dada nyankomle agbanyankomle atabo gbadada oyi bai dani ko nu nyama ne ko so blaka jo ma fe wono mena gbi ho ni ma ho na ma ho ni eni chole ncheche na ibo trobu Nai afunya sitensho ke pawo atacha ohwencha onwo dani ge shoshi ha boni ye fenye ba ye konye no anya mani ko so like jo ma fe wono ni chone icho nu ma ko cho sabola ate ashikwajaku jaban abloma adade opare bleche chene blue way otu anan akuna nete shaulunga ye fenye ba dani konye no anya mani ko so like jo ma fe wono ka ba tinye otenye ko manye akenya shiajo ni mlakwen mene gbine Joy Prime ke ewonche fe ke ngene amo me kwa makwa mebu na mengbele amina ke ha Ghana month ni fe money no ni wo bi ono pe won bi o manye won ha me won bi osebla won ha won bi tomo won ha won bi nile won ha won bi agboje won ha won bi wala sekele won ha won bi aka ni fe money mi no ni ya fe musu no ni ya fe matan patugbele osran haumo hela bibi ke bi na hia de sanfen akpafa so afa ha wo no ni wo bi ono pe ja ke pa fe pa ni wa agbola ba to bo pepe ko manye bona fe ni wo sien yati ni wo blow yati ko le kutu wo pe wajebu wajenu wo wono ko janu ajowo keje acho ape na cho akpe wono ko me kaka mi ni cho amade dun aboti ko fe wo didom we have you no ba wo la oh my, are we live? Oh my obi enu ewo dudon kumayele my obi enu ewo dudon kumayele ya nunu e kumayele my obi ewo dudon kumayele oh my obi enu ewo dudon kumayele oh my obi enu ewo dudon kumayele my obi enu ewo dudon kumayele ya nunu e so yo bibi o ba no ba jo manjo Otofoyo bibio, bano bajo manjo. Yeah, yeah. Otofoyo bibio, bano bajo manjo. Otofoyo bibio, bano bajo manjo. Otofoyo bibio, bano bajo manjo. Otofoyo bibio, bano bajo manjo.
Otofoyo bibio, bano bajo manjo. Otofoyo bibio, bano bajo manjo.
Otofoyo bibio, bano bajo manjo. Otofoyo bibio, bano bajo manjo.
Otofoyo bibio, bano bajo manjo. Otofoyo bibio, bano bajo manjo.
Oh, Mohami jale mafoye boy. 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 Oh, Mohami jale mafoye boy. Mohami jale mafoye boy. Mohami jale mafoye boy. Oh, Mohami jale mafoye boy. Mohami jale mafoye boy. Oh, Mohami jale mafoye boy. Oh, tofoyo bibio, bano bajo manjo. Oh, tofoyo bibio, bano bajo manjo.
So what you just witnessed was a beautiful traditional prayer performed by His Eminence Numo Chawe Otrome II. He's the Chawe Wulomo from Chawe Wulomo Kong with his group, the Blemabi, to wit, the ancient people. And you saw them pour libation as tradition and courtesy demands, and they gave us a beautiful brief performance as well. But distinguished ladies and gentlemen, listeners listening via Joy 99.7 FM, to you watching me via Joy Prime Television on our social media platforms across Ghana and beyond, good afternoon and welcome to the 8th edition of the Joy FM Showbiz Roundtable. And for our lovely studio audience here, you'll have to pardon me. I should have also acknowledged you. And so once again, you're welcome. Thank you so much for joining us. So this afternoon, we're about to have a very beautiful conversation. It's going to be a conversation that's not only going to be centered around music, but it's going to be about memory, about identity, about heritage and legacy. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm sure you'll agree with me when I say that for more than centuries, more than 2 centuries actually, the Highlife genre has been the soundtrack of the ordinary Ghanaian. And perhaps if you agree with me, you should do your research. You'd find out that from the coastal dance halls, which was early 20th centuries, to present day recording studios and performing stages as well, the Highlife genre has helped the ordinary Ghanaian tell his or her story. And it's a beautiful story. It's one of love, one of celebration, one of resilience, and one of heritage. And so for me, it's no surprise that a reputable institution like UNESCO will recognize Highlife as one of Ghana's intangible cultural heritage. It's a powerful acknowledgement, one that is also culturally significant and relevant. But ladies and gentlemen, recognition alone, you'll agree with me when I say, does not preserve heritage or legacy, or does it? Maybe you should indulge me. Does it preserve our legacy? It does not, especially in today's fast-paced world when almost every day a new sound is being introduced onto the system. And these sounds, they do not just get introduced, they dominate. Most of them dominate. And so in a fast-paced world like today, how do we ensure the preservation of our indigenous Highlife genre, especially for the future generation? How do we ensure its authenticity while also allowing it to grow? And most importantly, how do we position it on the global market where it rightfully belongs? These questions are the reasons behind our gathering this afternoon. And together with industry and culturally relevant and significant individuals, we'll be taking a look at the past, the present, and the future of the Highlife genre. And so this is not going to be one of the conversations. This is The Conversation, and it's live on Joy 99.7 FM, live on Joy Prime Television, across our social media platforms. It's a highly interactive show, and so we'll indulge you and actually encourage you to share your thoughts and your questions with us. I understand we're also live on JoyNews, and so you can tune in to JoyNews as well and watch us. This show is proudly brought to you by Showbiz A to Z, with support from Joy Prime Television, excellently produced by the world's best Philip Nye, with support from Anita Tay, of course, what's a man without a woman, and the incredible Martin Edu Asari. Thank you so much. And so we're live on social media, like I said. Use the hashtag Showbiz Roundtable. But ladies and gentlemen, we've been going at it for 8 editions. In 8 editions, we've brought to you relevant conversations around our industry, around our society, and I think we deserve a round of applause, don't we? It's not easy. It's not easy at all. My name is Noella Kharyne. If you're wondering who's blabbing, well, first of all, I'm not a blabber. And I am your MC. I'm not your moderator. Pretty shortly, I will be introducing to you your moderator. If you're not new to the show, obviously, you can take a very good guess who he is. But just in case you are, pretty shortly, I'll be introducing him to you. But this is Showbiz Roundtable, powered by Joy 99.7 FM and Joy Prime Television. Let's take a quick breather. When we come back, I get to introduce some lovely individuals to you. Don't go nowhere.
Sorry for no one not insana ni na gufo odi kodi be onu pop odani nyama so cha zamani sakaranya wo Bibi we see one sorry for no one not Nensana ni ngira gufo Ozi kodi beya Onu pop oda ni nyamya so Wachaza manisakaranye Awe wonsa ewona ni Eye juma tre mi kadidie Ompa ebot
You're welcome back to Showbiz Roundtable, powered by Joy 99.7 FM and Joy Prime Television. We're live on Joy 99.7 FM, live on JoyNews, live on Joy Prime Television, across our social media platforms as well. We're about to have a beautiful conversation about Highlife. If you're just joining in, I mentioned earlier that we're going to have a conversation that's centered on memory, on legacy, on identity, all about Highlife, because Highlife is 100 years old. And so we want to take a look at how we can reinvent, this genre while also maintaining its authenticity. And so we're going to be doing that with a couple of significantly, or should I say cultural and industry significant individuals who will be having these conversations right here with us. You're reminded that this show is very interactive, and so we'd love to hear from you. If you have questions, you have suggestions about our theme for this conversation, please do not shy away from sharing that with us. I'll be more than glad to ask those questions or pose those questions to our panel. Speaking of our panel, they're seated already, and pretty shortly you'll be seeing their beautiful and handsome faces. But let me start with a lady, because why not? Ladies first, right? I'm very women biased. Anyway, so one of our beautiful panelists involves Adina. Now, Adina Fembi in Dempsey. Please pardon me if I murdered the name, but she's known simply as Adina. She's one of Ghana's most celebrated and enduring musical voices. Very beautiful too. Now, from the National Theatre Choir in her early years to winning the Charterhouse Stars of the Future competition in 2008, she has built an extraordinary career defined by authenticity and depth. Now, she's not merely an entertainer, she's a storyteller and an advocate and a representative of the modern Ghanaian woman. Over a career spanning nearly 2 decades, Adina has released some of the country's mega hits, and her voice, which is very warm, precise, emotionally honest, has earned her multiple Vodafone Ghana, now Telecel, Ghana Music Awards, including Record of the Year and Best Female Vocalist. Also at the 3 Music Awards, she won the Woman of the Year and also was recognized as part of the top 30 most influential women in music in Ghana. And this afternoon, we're very much honored to have her join our panel to discuss this all-important conversation. So hi, Adina, if you can give us a wave.
Hi.
Thank you so much for joining us. We really, really appreciate your time here with us. Oh, you can do better. Why not? Thank you so much. Also here with us is another special speaker whom I'd love to introduce. This man I have interviewed before, and the day I did, there's a lot I took away from him. I'm not sure if he remembers. Oh yeah, probably this will remind him. But yeah, Professor John Collins is an ethnomusicologist who has been active in the West African music scene since 1969 as a guitarist, band leader, music union activist, journalist, writer, music teacher, and archivist. Now, in the 1970s, he operated his Boko Highlife band, and over the years has worked, recorded, and played with numerous Ghanaian and Nigerian artists and bands such as the Jaguar Jokers, Francis Kenya, E.T. Mensah Ablade, Fela Anikulapo Kuti, Konimo, Kwame, Victor Wiafo. Right? I got it right? Awesome. Bob Pinodo, the Benzas, the Black Berets, T.O. Jazz, Atongo Zimban, Aaron Bebe Sukura. Lovely names. And he has published 10 books and scores of journalistic and academic papers on African popular music, and been involved with many films on Ghanaian popular arts and traditional music as well. Now, he has been a patron of the Musicians Union of Ghana, Musica, and a professor of the music department at the University of Ghana, Legon. He's also chairman of the PMAF, African Popular Music Archives NGO, and he's currently the head of the History and Music Research Department at the Dikain Center in Osula. Thank you so much, sir. Such a rich portfolio. Thank you for your contributions as well. Also here with us and on the panel is Jonas Bibi Hammond. Now, he's known in real life as Alfred Jonas Dona Hammond Jr., also known as Jonas Bibi Hammond. He's a composer, audio engineer, a music producer, and publisher. Now, he started playing drums and singing in school bands, I beg your pardon, by the age of 10 in Ridge Church School, and he could play the bass guitar by the age of 18. He worked and produced music for Faisal Helwani. Bibi has worked with musicians all over the West African coast, also in England, Arabia, and Germany. Now, in 2006, he set up the Zaria music label, and he has worked with the godfather of Nubian music, Ali Hassan Kuban, the Sudanese henna queen, Setona, and Guy Warren, and his son, Glenn Ghana Baba Warren, Ghana National Symphonic Orchestra, 2 of the most recent albums of Ijakonimo, Kojo Esa, Native Vibe, Takashi Band, amongst others. He also composed and produced the 1884 Music and History CD for the city of Berlin. That's the Pan-African Groove Collective and the Pan-African All-Stars Big Band. Thank you so much, Mr. Hammond. Very humble. Look at him. Very reserved, but look at his portfolio. Thank you so much for joining us, sir. We appreciate your time here. Also on the panel with us, let me just share their profile and hopefully they join us later. But Kofi Boachie-Ansah is also here with us. Now, he is a Grammy-nominated multidisciplinary creative and entrepreneur whose practice bridges music, film, design, fine art, law, and music business. Now, with more than 2 decades of experience across diverse communities and creative projects, he brings a wealth of cultural capital, a proven track record in advocacy, and a nuanced understanding of cross-cultural dynamics and artistic expression. Now, Kofi has designed and facilitated numerous training workshops in music, business, copyright, intellectual property, music publishing, production, and audio engineering. Most recently, he served as the lead copyright expert for Play It Right, a campaign delivered under an international cooperative initiative between the government of France and Ghana. He also acted as consultant, mentor, and facilitator for Soundscape, a pioneering training program for emerging music publishers in Ghana. Now, he's a founding executive member of both the Audio Engineers and Producers Association of Ghana and the Ghana Music Alliance. Kofi continues to champion advocacy, accessible education, skills development, and policy reform in intellectual property within the rapidly evolving creative industry. His dedication to advancing the sector is further reflected at his service on the board of the Telecel Ghana Music Awards, his role as a board member. Thank you so much, Kofi Boachie-Ansah, for joining us. Also very reserved and humble. So these are our beautiful and handsome speakers who will be together having a conversation about Highlife. Like I said, it's 100 years old. It has been recognized by UNESCO as well. And so we want to see how we can preserve this indigenous Ghanaian genre while also allowing it to evolve beautifully with the newer generation. Now, ladies and gentlemen, you're reminded that this is Showbiz Roundtable. It's proudly brought to you by Joy 99.7 FM and Joy Prime Television. We're live on Joy FM, live on JoyNews, live on Joy Prime, across our social media platforms as well. We are live, and we acknowledge our special guest also here, whom I will be mentioning pretty shortly. But now let's take our keynote address from our very beautiful keynote address speaker. I'm missing one of her profiles here, but you know what? I'm just going to give it a go. So I'm going to leave her name for later, all right, so that you can see whether you can give it a good guess. Now, she started her career as an assistant producer at the nation's premier national television station, Ghana Television Authority, that's GTV, as a producer of an educative children's program, and later produced exciting women's program. Now, after some years as a media practitioner, she delved into the world of tourism, where she played a pivotal role as one of the foremost Ghanaian in the tour business, attracting clients like the Nation of Islam, I beg your pardon, the African American Associations, the Black Psychologist Association in the USA, and later became one of the founders of the Royal Protocol Operators of a cruise ship, promoting the Ghanaian tourism in the west coast of Africa. Now, she later ventured into event organizing and had the opportunity to work with world-class artists like Akon, Shaggy, and a host of other international artists. I almost mentioned her name, but I'm going to miss that too. Now, she has a career that spans through the hospitality industry, where she rose to become the general manager of one of Ghana's premier international hotels in the 90s, coordinating presidential clients from all across the world. Now, she held key roles in the hospitality and media industries, successfully organized high-profile exhibitions, and launched industry-leading publications. And ladies and gentlemen, she also established a pioneering real estate and interior design business in Ghana. She donated a significant resources to community development and education in Ghana. Her professional expertise in event planning singles her out as one of the foremost event planning and global leader, establishing and maintaining a leading position in Ghana's premier building and property exhibition markets, and also organizing landmark events, including the first ever exhibition of its kind, featuring external stakeholders from Turkey, Austria, and the UK, with an international real estate publication, which is first of its kind, right here in Ghana, promoting and amplifying the real estate and construction industry for over 2 decades. Currently, she sits at a very beautiful instrumental office. She's the CEO of the Ghana Tourism Authority. Ladies and gentlemen, our keynote speaker is Maame Efua Houadjeto. A round of applause as she comes to give her keynote address. Ma'am, would like to have you. Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you very much.
Good afternoon to everybody here. Let me begin by extending my sincere appreciation to Joy Entertainment, Showbiz A to Z, and of course today is not Kwame Dazie's day, but but to the producers of this show today. I'm grateful for convening this important national conversation during Ghana Month, a time when we pause as a people to celebrate the richness of our identity and our culture, and of course our creative spirits that defines us. Today's theme, preserving Highlife as Ghana's music heritage, is both timely and necessary. Highlife is not just music. Highlife is history. Highlife is identity. Highlife is our story. Highlife is Ghana. Long before Ghana became globally known for Afrobeats and contemporary sound, Highlife carried the story of our people across continents, from the dance halls of Accra, Cape Coast, Kumasi, to the diasporic communities across London, New York, and beyond. Highlife became the sound through which Ghana introduced itself to the world. It was through Highlife that we heard the poetic storytelling of legends like Iti-Mensah, King Bruce, Nana Ampadu, A.B. Krenzel, Osibisa, and countless others who turned music into a living archive of Ghanaian life. Their music sold stories of love, community, struggle, celebration, and hope. And through those rhythms and melodies, the world learned something profound about Ghanaian spirit, our resilience, our joy, and our creativity, which is why in December 2025, UNESCO officially inscribed Ghana's Highlife music and dance into its representative list of intangible cultural heritage of humanity. Ladies and gentlemen, as the Ghana Tourism Authority, we recognize that tourism is not only about destinations. Tourism is about culture, creativity, and expressions. Of course, and experiences as well. Music is one of the most powerful cultural exports any nation can possess. When visitors travel to Ghana, they do not only come for our beaches, our castles, our landscape, our wildlife, they also come for the sound of Ghana. They come to experience our festivals, our rhythms, and our storytelling, and of course, the living culture that breathes through our music. Highlife, therefore, is not simply a genre, it is a national asset. Preserving Highlife means preserving a vital piece of Ghana's culture, of Ghana's cultural DNA. It means ensuring that future generations understand where our music came from before they shape where it is going. It is why at the Ghana Tourism Authority, through initiatives such as the Black Star Experience, we are committed to promoting Ghana's creative industries, music, arts, festivals, and cultural expressions. As cultural pillars of Ghana's tourism economy, we believe Ghana must not only celebrate its culture, we must institutionalize and elevate it. That means supporting platforms that document and archive Highlife history, creating spaces where young musicians learn from the legends who built this industry, promoting Highlife on global stages as part of Ghana's cultural diplomacy, and integrating our music heritage into tourism experiences across the country. Because culture that is not preserved as culture that is eventually, because culture is not preserved and eventually, because if culture is not preserved, eventually it is forgotten. But culture is protected, celebrated, and promoted because a legacy for generations. To the younger generations of musicians listening today, I want to say this. Innovation is important. Evolution is necessary, but roots matter. The future of Ghanaian music will always be stronger when it is built on the foundation of those who started it. Highlife is that foundation, and preserving it is not just the responsibility of all. It's not just the responsibility of all of us, the government, the media, cultural institutions, educators, and the creative community. Today's conversation is therefore extremely important because every time we gather to talk about Highlife, like we are going to do this afternoon, document its history, celebrate its pioneers, and inspire new generations. We are doing something powerful. We are protecting the culture, heartbeat of Ghana. I am privileged as the CEO of Ghana Tourism Authority. I would like to assure you that we remain committed to promoting Ghana's music, culture, and creative heritage, both locally and internationally. Ghana's story is rich. Our culture is powerful. Our music is timeless. Our Highlife will always remain one of the greatest expressions of the Ghanaian soul. Let us celebrate it. Let us protect it. Let us proudly share it with the world. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for this opportunity.
Thank you so much, Madam CEO. Madam Efua Houadjeto is the CEO of the Ghana Tourism Authority. A round of applause for her as well. Thank you so much. There are two takeaways I took from her speech. She says Highlife is not just a genre, it's a national asset. And that evolution and innovation is great, but our roots is important. Two takeaways, very powerful. So thank you so much for that beautiful keynote address. We really appreciate that. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, you are live on Joy 99.7 FM, live on JoyNews, live on Joy Prime Television. This is the 8th edition of the Joy FM Showbiz Roundtable, brought to you by Showbiz A to Z and, of course, Joy Prime Television. It's excellently produced by Philip Nye with support from Anita Tay and Martin Asare. He corrected me earlier. He says he doesn't want to do. So yeah, very well noted, Martin. Anyway, so it's now time for me to introduce to you your moderator, whom will be somebody you see right after the break, but he's a senior colleague in the industry. He's my brother. He is the host of Showbiz A to Z on Joy 99.7 FM, and as of recent, the co-host of Daybreak Hits on Hits 103.9 FM. He's none other than Kwame Dadzie, and right after this break, you'll see his face.
Whoa, Bibi, we are seen. Once sorry, Puna Wananto, then Sunday, you go for all the body there. On the pop or Danina, so Boachie-Ansah, Kharyne. I want a name. I had you my dream, Dadzie. On Bible today. I even out the Monya, only Pada Seli. I want a name. I had you my jacket. On Bible today. I even out the Monya, only Pada Seli. Whoa, Bibi-Ansah, modern sun and at way. The sun and the name for Bassarana to folk. Then you know that whoa, Bibi-Ansah, modern sun and at way. The sun and the name for Bassarana to folk. Then you know that Ubaku Afanasa, Ubieno Afanasa, Wabubi Safanasa. Minyawaye, Musio Papa. And Kebida. Sanity, our bravo. Ubaku afanosai, Umiro afanosai, Wamu so afanosai, Minyawaye, Musio Papa. Chakawa fanosa, Oyato afanosa, Ene Jesu to afanosa, Chin son, Ewo Mukama. Kama. Chakawa fanosa, Oyato afanosa, Ene Jesu to afanosa. Chin son, Ewo Mukama. Wow, Bibi-Menace, Moderator, and Sana Nengina, from Wasarana to Dengina, Adina. Wow, Bibi-Menace, Moderator, and Sana Nengina, from Wasarana to Dengina, Adina. So dear, I even know the boy,
Sasa brekuyo na puna mupe. Akomon, Brekumon, Akomon, Brekumon, Sasa Breku, Napuna Mope, aye. Akomba, Madiachi, Obreque, and I know. Akomba, Madiachi. Akomon, Brekumon, Akomon, Brekumon, Sasa Breku, Napuna Mope, aye.
In the Ghanaian pot, we call it palm wine music, and it is one of the very, very early forms of music that laid the foundation for what we call Highlife. You heard from the Kumasi Trio, you heard from Ejakonimo and Kwame. But it wasn't only palm wine music that was in the equation. From the beginning, we had the Adaha music or the regimental music. You can call it the brass band music. And this form of Highlife incorporated what we call the European military band style, brass band music. Music. This is the kind of music that can put me on the dance floor and I will murder everybody. Brass band Highlife. and it took inspiration from the military bands in the olden days, the early 1900s, yeah? Now, later on, we had other variants of Highlife music. We had the dance band Highlife, we had the guitar band Highlife. And for the dance band Highlife, this was when the musicians started adding more Western musical instruments, and they had bigger bands. For example, the E.T. Mensens, the King Bruces, the Jerry Hansons, and the like. They were some of the pioneers of the dance band Highlife, and then we had the guitar band, which was also led by people like Nana Kwame Ampedu, Alex Kunedu. We had the likes of A.B. Crenshaw, and many others. DJ Ubeti Boyanyum. So you just listened to a mixture of the dance band and the guitar band, Highlife music, and we are just about moving forward. So the story of Highlife did not end there. We moved forward. Highlife journeyed to Germany and other European countries and assumed the pop and funk effect. It came and took over the season with the bugger feel, and that was what we call the bugger Highlife. You're going to listen to a song from Charles Amoah. We have the likes of George Dakun, Lee Dodu. Take a listen. All right, Burger Highlife there, and this type of music came with swag. It came with the Jerry Curls, it came with the Pimpinies and all that. Those days, they called the kind of music Burger Highlife. Somebody may be asking, where is KK Fosu? Where is Daddy Lumba in the latter days? Where is Oforiamponsa? Contemporary Highlife it is. Take a listen. Woo Betty for taking us through the evolution of Highlife. This is the 8th edition of Joy FM's Showbiz Roundtable. We're live on Joy Prime Television, and of course, we are transmitting live from Joy Prime Studios. We're live on JoyNews as well, and Joy 99.7 FM. We're also very live on our social media handles, Joy FM, JoyNews, Joy Prime. or 055-1111-997. And again, let me remind you that this program is very active everywhere on our various channels. Again, this is a program that is dedicated to the industry, and today we are talking Highlife music. Okay, we're talking Highlife music, and Ghana Month is the period in which we are now. Ghana Month is meant to celebrate our heritage, our culture, our food, our clothes, everything Ghanaian. And this time around, we are focusing our radar on one of our treasures that has given Ghana the glory. After 100 years of its emergence and after being listed by UNESCO as Ghana's intangible cultural heritage, what are we doing to it next? How are we preserving Highlife? How are we making sure that the younger generation incorporates Highlife in their works? And what do we do to make sure that 100 years after today, Highlife will still be alive. Welcome to Showbiz Roundtable. My name is Kwame Dadzie, and this program is going to be in 3 parts. In the first part, we're going to look at the identity of Highlife music. And so there is something we call the Highlife litmus test, where we play 3 songs for our resource people to determine whether they are Highlife songs or not. Then the second part, we look at Highlife in production and performance. Lastly, when we come back the third time, we look at how to preserve Highlife. We have a rep from UNESCO who will be telling us how important it is for Highlife to be listed as Ghana's intangible cultural heritage. But before we get into the discussion, let me introduce again the resource people we have here. Let me start from the far right. We have one person whose song is our sick tune on Joy 99.7 FM Showbiz A to Z. I mean, Boachie-Ansah. He's a man who is called the customs child or the tradition child. He does music mainly using local rhythms and sometimes merging with modern forms of music. So Boachie-Ansah is a 6/8 type of music that incorporates our traditional rhythms plus some hip hop, R&B kicks in there, hard ones in there. He is the traditions child or the customs child. Amandzeba, welcome.
Thank you.
All right, put your hands together for him. Okay, let me also say that we have Bibi, Jonas Hammond. He's a veteran music producer. He is here with us. Adina is an ever beautiful, talented musician, does mostly Highlife and other genres of music. Adina, welcome. All right, also Beatmenace, the man always in black here. Beatmenace is one of the young guys who knows a lot about this industry. Beatmenace is here with us. Beats, what's up?
I want to take you on your dance challenge. When he was playing that, somebody should bring powder. The floor
And also, if I'm confident anywhere to talk about Highlife music, it's because of this man, because I have read his Highlife Time 3, and I have learned a lot from that book. Professor John Collins is an ethnomusicologist. He is an educationist, a journalist, a writer. Sir, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. And a musician.
And a musician. Why did I leave that out?
Exactly.
Because as a music producer, as a musician. Okay. So to kickstart the conversation, it is right for us to start by knowing what Highlife is. Wait, it might sound jaded, but yes, we need to start from there. What is Highlife? What is the nature of Highlife? And so let me start with you, Prof. I'm very sure this is not the first time you're hearing this question. What is Highlife music? Is there any one specific definition of Highlife? Okay, and so take us through that. What is Highlife?
It would be like asking a jazz musician, what is jazz? I mean, if you're in America.
Yeah.
There are so many. You know, a few days ago, somebody rang me, a student of mine from Kumasi. How many types of Highlife? And you mentioned a few in your speech. Yeah. If you include Nigerian varieties, it probably approaches about 25 or 30.
Whoa.
Ghana is maybe half, and Nigeria has a lot of.
Yeah.
So it depends on what type of Highlife.
Okay.
And when Highlife started, it came from the brass bands, the guitar bands, from the ballroom dance orchestras. So there's no single origin. The only origin I can say, it was born in Ghana.
Okay.
With different influences.
Okay.
So it's not like a tree giving branches. There's just one root or one trunk. There are multiple trunks.
Okay. So we don't have a definition for Highlife music?
Oh, you can still attempt one, yes. Yeah.
Can you help us attempt one?
Well, okay. Let's look at the rhythms. There are a number of rhythms which, and these can be in 4/4 time. Okay. Like the Jammer beat, which is very ancient actually. Right. And then of course the Sichi Highlife.
Okay.
You know, then the 6/8. I think we were playing some 6/8 rhythms just now. I think Amandzeba's song, some of your music is in 6/8.
Yes, yes.
That's another ancient style, like Adowa style, Adonson.
Yes.
Even Agbaja sometimes they use. So that's just the rhythm. Then we're coming to the scales.
Yes.
There's the modal scales, like the Adonson Highlife, which doesn't use Western harmonies. The dance bands use Western harmonies, augmented jazz chords, onyina. I mean, I can talk for hours. You can't put Highlife in a bottle.
Okay, so...
You can't categorize. It's like water. It's fluidic.
Great.
And it went all over West Africa.
Prof, we say Highlife is 100 years. When exactly did it start? Did it start 100 years ago?
Yeah,
exactly
well, no, it started, like you mentioned, Adaha, and there was a music called CB Saba, which was before the word Highlife. But the word Highlife was invented, I'll give you the date, September 1925.
September 1925.
Yeah, and it was in a brochure by the Cape Coast Literary Association for a band in Ghana called the Raga Jazzbo.
The Raga, okay.
And they were playing, the first time we see the word Highlife in print.
Oh.
If you go to Nigeria, you won't see the word Highlife in print till 1938.
Yeah, later.
So later, not before.
So this is documented. Highlife was first written on paper in 1925.
And you know, Kwame Nkrumah tried to get rid of the name Highlife and go back to the word CB Saba.
Saba. He didn't like Highlife? 64.
Well, it was an English word, a colonial, you know, he thought maybe go back to a fancy word. But the trouble is that Highlife had already spread and everybody knew it as Highlife and it was too late to change it.
Okay.
So,
Prof, there's a story that Highlife earned its name after the elites started performing the type of music, and so it was described as music for people of a higher life. Is that true? And if that is, then why do we call the other forms of music that emerged later Highlife as well?
Okay, I mean, the word Highlife wasn't, it was in the context of the ballroom orchestras that were actually, they were playing mainly European music from about 1914, but some of them were bold enough to take street music and orchestrate it. The poor people who gathered outside the clubs, they couldn't get in because they didn't have the right clothes, top hat. It was for the elites, the Ghanaian elites.
Yeah.
They heard their own street songs being played by high-class groups, so they called it high-life music. Let me say, I was told this by E.T. Mensah's older brother, who was the leader of the Accra Rhythmic Orchestra.
Okay.
So the word wasn't invented by the rich, and Highlife doesn't come from the rich. It came from the poor. It came from the sailors, the fishermen, the artisans, and then when it crept up to the rich people, then the name was given.
The name was given.
So in Nigeria, because Highlife wasn't born in Nigeria, so they don't know its original origins.
Okay.
They think it came from the rich people, Highlife, and it trickled down to the poor people. Not so.
Right.
It was just, it trickled up to the rich people and then got its name, and then it took over umbrella term for all the types of burger high life, even hip hop. Hip life is hip hop high life.
Yeah.
You know, or you could say gospel high life, burger high life, dance band high life.
There is reggae high life too.
There's reggae high life. There's okay.
I've listened to a number of unproduced compositions. Someone like Shena and all those. They have reggae syncopations in there.
And City Boys.
Okay.
And Teacher and his Africana. They were experimenting with reggae very early on, from the 60s, or 70s, I would say. And they were, the City Boys, and Nana Ampedu. Nana Ampedu was even experimenting with Afrobeat. Not Afrobeats. He called it Afro-Healing. Locomotive.
Afro-Healing?
Yeah. Locomotive.
Wow.
These guys were way ahead of everybody.
Wow.
Way ahead of everybody.
Before I get to our other resource people, let me stay a bit with you again. We've heard some people say that the Liberian sailors taught us how to play the guitar, the two-finger picking technique.
Right,
and so basically, high life is from Liberia. What do you say?
No, not so. I mean, you see, it's a Spanish guitar, and fishermen, sailors, seamen would play the guitar on board ships, sailing ships. And what happened is the Liberians were recruited on the sailing ships. They took the Spanish guitar and they played it like an African lute. You know, like the way King Ayasoba or Adon Zimba plays.
Yeah.
That technique was put onto the guitar by the Liberians, and then the Liberians forgot. Let me tell you, because Bibi is here. Bibi, we met in so many ways, but we met through Faisal Helwani, and we were working in Liberia, and I told the Liberians that the actual guitar, not high life, but the guitar technique was invented by Liberian crew fishermen. 150 years, 200 years ago, we don't know exactly. So the Liberian Minister of Culture came to me the next day and said, am I sure? They said they thought high life was introduced by Ghanaians. I said it was. But one of the formative influences in Highlife is the guitar playing. It came from your fishermen. But you see, excuse me to say, sometimes the leaders of countries are very elitist. They look down upon the lower classes, fishermen. They don't think fishermen or seamen can contribute to culture.
Okay.
But in fact, they made a major contribution to culture. And the crew style went all the way down to Nigeria, where they call it crew bass. So I would say that one of the roots of Highlife is Liberian and Sierra Leone music. But it's a root, but it crystallized in Ghana.
Okay.
So that's this.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's difficult.
It's difficult.
It's a pan-West African music.
Because I have heard some people say, if you hear rhythms like...
Okay. That one is Ghanaian.
That ostinato is basically what people say it's Highlife. Others also say, when you hear 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, it is Highlife. Others say, when you hear Achade. Others say, when you hear the one from the coast, so all these form parts of Highlife, or all these are Highlife patterns.
A lot of them come from traditional music, like the three that you mentioned.
Okay.
It actually is found in traditional Akan music.
Okay.
And it was found its way into Sitchi. You know, Giassi, when he made Sitchi Highlife, for instance, he used that beat. But it's very old. And according to Professor Nketia, Sitchi goes back to the 1920s or something like this. So actually, when you're talking about rhythms, there are so many rhythms. Because altogether, I made a calculation some years ago. How many different rhythms are there in Africa? Not just Ghana. I was working for the Musicians Union. We calculated we have 600 different rhythms in Ghana.
All right.
It's underestimate.
Wow.
But for the whole of Africa, it would come to about 12 or 15,000. So it comes into the popular music of Africa. So this is what the Highlife musicians were doing. They were drawing on traditional rhythms.
Very soon we'll be playing to you 3 songs, and our resource people will help us to determine whether they're Highlife or not. But let me let you take a rest now. Let me go to Amandzeba. Amandzeba is a performer of Ghanaian music, Highlife music. Let me take his opinion on his conception of Highlife music.
And those who are watching us, and King of Accra, Manche, Intaki, Teko Churu. And because of, he was involved in an accident, so I'm using this opportunity to just salute him and wish him very well. And then the leader of the state, because I can smell some kind of encouragement and incentivization by way of supporting arts and stuff like that. That's where our politics come in as artists. Prof, I would just make a little reference to the fact that he said people thought that Highlife rather descended from the top to the bottom, and it looks like you insinuated that the elites were actually looking down. But I think that you in the academia also fueled that feeling, because you know the number of natural composers we have in the local communities here, and when they, especially those from La, the way they weave their songs, and they are always at the level of the fisherman. So I would ask that, what is the difficulty in deformalizing music education? Because you see, everybody would like to record or write something that will actually make a presentation of what he has. But that side, when we were young, every area, every community at Adina, Palladium, what do you call it, Mamprobi, and all the surrounding areas had their cultural local bands. And I know that that's where Alan family comes from. You understand? And Alan family, for them at that level, to be able to rise and rise and rise to the top. I don't mean literally to the top, but I'm saying that for people to hear them everywhere. You understand? We leave them to their fate. The least we could do for those who are in the academia is to get to that community and use your education to actually let them know that what they are doing is intellectual. You understand? So for Highlife, for me, it is an interesting development in our musical sphere.
Okay.
In Ghana.
Yeah.
Now, if it wasn't for the fact that some of the musicians were smart enough to inculcate, orchestrate their music, use the Western instruments. Nobody would have even allowed Ramblers to go into, let's say, Ambassador Hotel if they were singing without all those accompaniments from the foreign land. So, for me, my practical understanding of Highlife music is just simple. At that level where you found them at palm wine spots and stuff like that, they were just, relegated to the bottom. But the minute they left the palm wine, and got into the ballroom with these kinds of music, the white man had no excuse to say that I'm excluding you because it is music we are performing. And music has no barriers anyway. So they were actually pulled into the ballroom because they were wearing suit, tie, with the horns and everything. So they were more relaxed in them. So my understanding for Highlife music is, at that level of palm wine, it was low life music.
It was low life music.
But as soon as it ascended and got into...
It became high life.
Then it became...
Put your hands together for Amandzeba. Let me go to Jonas. And when we talk about music, what makes music is usually we think about the performers, those we see perform the songs, but those who create the music, those who create the instrumentation, the beat and all that also play a very important role in determining the genre. Bibi Hammond is a very, very big music producer way back, and he has paid his dues in the industry. Bibi, what do you make of Highlife music? When we say a song or a type of music is Highlife, what goes into it? What is it?
It never gets old.
Forever young.
I'd like to add to some of what Prof has said. Highlife music can't be put in one pot. And I also really am thankful for the contribution of Amandzeba because he has put it so well. A lot of the foundation elements of Highlife music, as far as Ghana is concerned, were looked down upon. For example, Lakma, Shimo, and that kind. I even want to produce some of that music. I haven't done it yet. These are all integral parts, but we only accepted, or like he said, what was accepted was when it went uptown and it had the trimmings of Western society, it became accepted. But I did a couple of albums with Konimo, and I would go up to Kumasi, sit in his house, and he played me some forms of Highlife, which just blew my mind.
Wow.
I think that we are sitting on a resource that can make money for this country, that we are not looking into. Maybe we are going too fast forward, that we have left everything. We have like a Pandora's box at the back. Now, you mentioned something about these rhythms.
Yeah, the rhythms.
I produce a lot of music with, I like the Black diaspora.
Okay.
Most of the musicians I use for recordings are from Brazil, Cuba, Haiti, all over the place. And I remember the first time my Brazilian musicians introduced me to Guanguanco. I was like, what's this? Because we say, or we have, And Guanguanko is...
Oh, like Adua Okete.
It's got all of that.
Like that?
You see, so you can see that the music moved with the slaves to the Brazil and to Cuba, and it has stayed in their collective consciousness. So if we talk about Highlife, it has gone everywhere. It has gone into other parts of the world and mutated. And what we have to do is one of my suggestions, my humble suggestions, is we need a national consensus about Highlife. We have to have a national music festival where we bring all the variants from the black diaspora for the Ghanaian musicians to see.
Great, great, great. Adina is representing the younger generation who have not left Highlife behind, but still they use the rhythm. What drew you closer to Highlife music?
So growing up, my grandmother used to sing Ibibinyum in church. So my mom...
Wow!
Yeah, so in the Methodist church, and so my mom picked it. So I was drawn to that kind of sound.
So you can sing Ibibinyum?
I can respond.
Now you can sing some?
I can respond. I think I need to try.
Okay.
I need to look into it.
Beautiful.
I used to feel like it was a calling, so I wouldn't tamper with it. You know, I'd keep it sacred. And then growing up, we had, you know, the likes of A.B. Kren. So Amandzeba is actually one of like the people that has influenced me heavily, because for me, we had typical Highlife music. Then we had songs like Wombejeke, which is not very typical. Like you said earlier, it's like cultural. How do you call it? Cultural.
Yeah, traditional rhythms.
Traditional music.
Yeah.
And so I remember listening to his music and saying, I want to take something like that and add a modern flair to it.
Wow.
And then call it my own. So I don't think I ever told you.
The point is we all, step on somebody's shoulder.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Go higher.
So, unless you give like you're saying, this is an official announcement, so I will not.
So I had influences from there, and the Akuma Ejo, Akose Japan. I mean, anytime I listen to radio.
Is
no, that's not Akose Japan.
That's right.
That's Princess Cynthia.
Princess Cynthia.
Yeah, I'm just saying her, Princess Cynthia, Akose Japan, all the names. Literally, anytime you turn on the radio, there was Highlife music playing. Western Diamonds, I was asking you about them. Yeah. So my influences came from there. Anytime I listened to radio, the music that I heard formed my sound. It shaped, what I came to call music, or Ghanaian music.
Awesome. Yeah. Beatmenace, before we take our litmus test, okay, we're going to play 3 songs, then we decide whether they're Highlife or not. What is your conception of Highlife? Beat.
Well, 2 main things. First and foremost, I have been outspoken about my disagreement with, this is my personal opinion, about how we often try to describe it merely based on rhythm. Okay, because it has very different styles of Highlife, have very distinct tonal inflections, melodious ideas and motifs, and pitch, tone, timbre. Okay, so I think restricting it just to the bell pattern might be somewhat misleading, because I've been in several spaces where somebody creates some style of music, they call it Highlife, and obviously, in my opinion, I think it's not. For instance, if I take Bob Marley Natty Dread and I play the clave pattern to it, it doesn't automatically make it a Highlife. But if you consider the music of Maame Tiwa, who just passed, may her soul rest in peace, she had a very unique way of harmonization, and melodic composition, right? And my opinion is it can be codified.
All right.
It can be transmitted, it can be taught. Why can't we apply that to melodic instruments? So if I want to play R&B, why can't I subject my R&B melodic ideas to how Maame Tiwa perhaps might sing it vocally? Because the first real instrument is the human voice. These are some of the restrictions that I think over time has made it difficult to not only transmit but preserve the art form in whichever way or form. So my definition of Highlife essentially is, in as much as it can't be boxed into one particular category, I think it is the one true representation of the Ghanaian experience. That's what Highlife is.
Awesome. Still here on Showbiz Roundtable 8th edition. My name is Kwame Dadzie, and we're talking about how to preserve Highlife music. We're getting into the Highlife litmus test. The first song we're going to play is Are Chichre by Boachie-Ansah. Take a listen. The master Akwaboah. Okay, so this is from Boachie-Ansah, Are Chichre. Let me start from Prof. We just heard Akwaboah's music. Is it Highlife?
You know, I know his father's music. I haven't heard this song before. I'm a bit out of touch.
Okay.
But is it Highlife? Wow.
Prof says wow.
No, it's fused into other things like R&B. I mean, there's all different things going on there. But the language is critical. I mean, like you were saying, Kofi, the language is critical because the voice is the central instrument of music. Since we first were on the planet, you know, the voice was the first instrument.
Sure.
And the singing is it's like gospel music. Gospel music may not be Highlife, but the way they sing can be like Highlife. I mean, the inflections and the language and so on. So I might have called this tree pop or something like this, with a touch of Highlife blended in or something. But once I know his father was a Akwaboah, I was saying that it's like Kwame Yebwa. You know, he's a fantastic guitarist and keyboard, but it comes from his dad. So somehow some of the genetic imprint is passed down to the son. But how much, I don't know.
So I did a research, and this song was actually sampled. Should I say sampled? I think sampled is the right word to use, or interpolated. Interpolated from Julio Iglesias' song, Love on Our Side. Anybody can check it. It's just exactly the same song that he replicated in this one. So it is not surprising that it had the same flow. So anybody who is listening can just check it out on the internet. And that is, okay, so let me go to Amandzeba. Beat, I'll come to you, okay? Let me go to Amandzeba.
Why do you want to put me on the spot?
Amandzeba, is this Highlife music? It was performed by a Highlife musician, but is it Highlife?
Certainly not the way I understand Highlife.
Okay.
And especially when the first time I heard the track, I knew where it came from.
Okay.
You understand? So, but then I thought that there's nothing wrong with taking Adina's song and doing my version.
Okay.
But I think that the recognition and the permissions must be sorted before you can actually come out with somebody's song boldly like that. But I don't think that he's the only culprit here. There are quite a number of us, you know, doing some small dishonest businesses and stuff like that. You know? I mean, people, you know, it's so difficult for us it's very difficult for me to come to you and seek your permission. Everybody wants to appear like, yeah, I am the prolific composer and this song and blah, 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 blah. But I don't think that true artist must actually be that. You said it was, what do you call it? You said it was what?
An interpolation.
I would say that in actual fact, short of using the English words, I think that he plagiarized, you know, because the melodies are exact.
Plagiarized. We don't know for a fact if he sought permission or not. And so to say,
have you read anywhere?
He plagiarized might seem he didn't get the permission to do it.
Exactly.
We don't know for a fact that he didn't do that.
Oh, the reason the big multinational companies don't have problems with us, they consider our economy in it. But the day they hear Ghana is making billions,
they will come for us.
They will be suing even you sitting there, because you hear most of the advert going on using foreign music and stuff like that. And you see, we sit here and we think that we can't gain economically from music. But I'm telling you, the things that are operating inimically to our growth is the fact that we are not enriching our own artists. Instead of using Adina's song for a product, somebody thinks he's smart enough to use a foreign song because nobody is going to come after him. But you'll be surprised. The minute they hear you are making billions out of it, they will sue your father, your mother, and your whole generation.
All right, but Amandzeba is a Highlife.
Oh, I told you that through my own understanding. It's not.
It's not, okay.
That's what I'm saying.
All right.
I may differ from others.
Let me come to the producer. Jonas, is Houadjeto by Kwame Highlife music?
In my understanding of Highlife, I think the only identifiable Highlife element is the way he's singing. But even then, he has taken the melody from somebody's original composition. And I'm sure, as Amandzeba said, if we were really connected to the international copyright system, he would have been in trouble. But they think this market is not really worth anything. That's why he got away with it.
Okay. Adina, Highlife?
I think you'd add me to this.
I wanted to skip you. I wanted to skip you.
Why don't you just skip me?
Oh, but she is here, so let her talk.
Honestly, I think I agree with a lot that has been said concerning this song. I think the Highlife element is really in his delivery.
Okay.
Because from what you've all said, it's a rendition of the original song.
Yeah.
And maybe he put 3 lyrics to it. So how he delivered the lyrics, I sense Highlife elements in there.
Awesome.
As for the rest, I'll leave it to you technical people.
Beatmenace.
But that is not to take anything from... Because he's a composer. I mean, Houadjeto is not the only song he's written.
Yeah.
He's written more fantastic songs, but specifically this one here.
Beat.
Well, I think that song just exemplifies
your theory.
Yes, and also, you know, the synthesis of the human lived experience.
Okay.
Master Bob Akwaboah was the traditional Highlife guitarist.
Yeah.
His son was Master Akwaboah.
Yeah.
Kojo Akwaboah.
Yeah.
And we know his son today.
Akwaboah Jr.
Now, Kojo Akwaboah was a very seasoned keyboard player, composer, and musician.
Yes.
Obviously, he was also influenced by a lot of modern music. And that informed the choices he made in trying to express Highlife ideas.
Yeah.
So I do not consider it Highlife. It's a typical, it's a parallel like Ghana jollof. We didn't invent the dish. It's a Senegalese dish.
Yeah.
But the Senegalese don't even come in the conversation. Whenever we are contesting jollof, it is what it is. Yes, we put our twist to it, but it's... Exactly, it's a tribe.
The Wolof. Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Yes. So it's one of this is a perfect example of the point I tried to make earlier.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I do not think it is Highlife, no, but it most certainly carries the DNA of the person delivering the song. Yeah. You know, Kofi hide. It will show up some way, somehow, right? Also, before you go, Afro-Cuban music, Latin music, all have traces to African traditional and indigenous music.
Exactly.
So perhaps even listening to Julio Iglesias, you may have heard certain inflections that he could relate to as an African. There was that cross-pollinization, and I hate the fact that we often reduce our history to slavery. Before slavery, we had navigators too.
Yes.
Okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let me shake the table.
Obate, next one. Let's go. Alright, so this is Abin Waha by Dadzie Lumba, okay? A very popular song. Let me start with you, Beatmenace. Quickly, let's do 10 seconds each on this one. Highlife or not?
It's an evolution of Highlife.
Okay.
I do not think it's explicitly Highlife, but over time it took on an identity of its own. In certain parts of Europe, certain styles of music are important, okay, or were important back then. Especially, right. You see, we need context also.
Okay.
The time we had the curfews, the coups, and all of these things, you need to understand that in the 70s, music was largely written, performed, recorded, performed live. Right?
Yeah.
We had coups, people couldn't gather, people couldn't perform as much, people had to leave because of the economic challenges we had, right? So you have very seasoned, learned musicians who may not have had formal training, who found themselves without their bandsmates or their fellow bandsmen. And back then, a lot of these guitar bands had 4 or more members. So you have an astute guitarist, composer, writer, singer. His drummer is not there. He doesn't understand the rhythm or whatnot. Now, in context, in Europe at the time, synth-based music and drum machines were becoming a thing. So this is just an example of the undying, resilient spirit of the Ghanaian identity, or the, Ghanaian culture.
All right.
These guys were geniuses to find a way of expressing innately Ghanaian musical ideas on something totally alien to them, to birth something new. You understand?
Yeah.
So, yes and no.
Yes and no. Bibi, Highlife or not?
I think it is Highlife. I mean, I know this music because this is most of the music that Bodo Steiger was involved in, and he was German, and they would program the drums here, bring it to him, and he would throw most of the programming away and put this kind of drums
in there.
So yes, it's a fusion.
Okay. Okay. Amandzeba.
Why not Adina?
Amandzeba.
I'm in trouble.
Is it Highlife?
I think I'm the wrong person for you to pose this question to.
I'm sure Adina will say same.
No, the point is, we have all experimented with so many rhythms and what coming up. I, for one, I am a very serious reggae artist, but I turn all my songs into, because I see the global table, I'm going to sit there and I'm going to go with somebody else's stuff on that table. I have to go as a Ghanaian, so let me take Ghana to that table. So that's why I would not, but I will blame you, the presenters, because you start firing the Highlife shots into certain music that do not deserve to be called Highlife. And the people follow you. Listen, the audience, when we listen to you, we think, oh, Kwame is the best person. Kwame is moving this way. Kwame says this is Highlife. So it's Highlife.
Is it not the producer that do that? Shouldn't we blame that on the producers? They determine the genres, right?
When you're on top of your game, I don't think somebody should come and tell me reggae is R&B or blues or something. You will have to correct.
All right.
Probably the person doesn't really understand what he's saying. So, oh no, and yes, you say that's all.
Yeah.
So,
Prof, Abin Waha.
Disco Highlife.
Disco Highlife. Disco Highlife. Disco Highlife. Which one is the disco in there? Is it like boom?
Yeah.
You see, I mean, like he was just saying about when during this the time when the economy went down, a lot of musicians left the country, and we didn't have role models. And, you know, I was running my Bokor recording studio in Accra then, and suddenly I was recording guitar bands, and then suddenly the guitar bands came with drum machines and synthesizers instead of horns.
Sure.
And I was very upset, because I lost a lot of, I felt sorry for the drummers, you know, a drum machine. But it was a synthesis of high life and disco music through necessity. That was, you know, the youth didn't have access. Also, we have to say that the government at the time took music out of the school system. 1988, when the musicians really, or the youth needed to get input of music, because of the music was changing and we had a very difficult situation, end of the live music industry. At that very time, the government took music out of the education system. Before that, we had 10 pop bands in Achimota alone. But it took, so the youth were forced to use drum machines and synthesizers, and I think they made a very good job of it. But the main thing is, it's the language he's carrying. You know, in fact, Dadzie Lumba is a little bit like Konimo.
Okay.
He's a storyteller.
Yeah.
And language is always central to music.
Very important.
So this is, they carried on the language tradition, at least under difficult
Okay, I will spare Adina on this one, but the next one, she will comment. Okay, let's take a listen to this one. Ubeti, play the rap in the song.
A 1, a 2, a 1, 2, 3, let's go.
I'm way too hot. I'm too spirited. I'm cool tempered. It's in my dancing studio. My cups are hips, yo. I love my soccer. All my ladies taste like sugar.
Every media house is playing this song, Ghana Month, made in Ghana, composed by Ochame Kwame, produced by Uncle Ebo Taylor and Dan Grau, and also arranged by Uncle Ebo Taylor of blessed memory. It features Kiddy in that one. Okay, so there is high life instrumentation, there is a rap in there. Is it high life or hip life? Adina, this one, let me start with you.
I would say it's high life music.
Okay.
It's interesting because this is a song that's current.
Yes.
And we're comparing it to songs from back in the day, and this is more high life to me
most of the songs,
than the songs that we've played so far. I think the elements are very heavy. Yes, there's a bit of adaptation, there's rap and everything, but it's still high life because the elements are strong and heavy.
Awesome. Amandzeba, high life?
She's so bold and beautiful. She nailed it. She said it. It's high life.
Even though there is rap,
the rap cannot dilute the larger components of the entire music. I mean, it's just a little. But you see, I have a problem with people who always introduce this rap element. Listen, the Kakekus, they were rapping. When the first two stanzas passes, we are singing, it's rap. So you're talking about the African rap, you're talking about the American rap.
Ambulatu rap.
I mean,
about the herbum.
You know, this is a beautiful highlight. Once, Kofi, you agree with me. Listen to the song, the horns. Absolutely. Listen to Uncle Ebo's touch is in there. I mean, I don't think Uncle Ebo would be part of anything that is not high life. You understand? So, I think this is.
But Ochame Kwame and his brother Ochame Kofi did Masanaba with a similar style, instrumentation, high life with rap on it, and it was hip life. Reggie Rockstone, Keep Your Eyes on the Road, sampled Alaji K from Pons, Chenchimbi Edimewu. And high life instrumentation, rap on it, it was hip life. Why is this not hip life too and it's high life? Beat.
I think it qualifies to be called both.
Both?
Let me tell you why. Our understanding of hip hop as a culture is from the American experience in the Bible.
Okay.
Right?
Okay. Yeah.
What forms hip hop culture? I'm a hip hop head, die-hard hip hop head.
Yeah.
I was in a rap group at some point when I was.
Oh yeah. Let's drop the beat now.
Baggy jeans and all. Ask 7. The thing is, by definition, hip hop as a black diasporic invention in New York is broken down into MCing, the graffiti, turntablism, and b-boying.
Okay.
So the MCing and the rap battle, all of these things, apart from turntablism, all of it can be traced back to Africa. The b-boying is capoeira. Capoeira was taken from Africa to Brazil.
Wow.
Yes. The rap battle, in fact, in the Eastern Bloc of where is currently Ghana, they used to have an art form called Adina, where linguists will battle with words. It goes back centuries. So the thing is, there's a saying that if you don't write your stories, the story of the hunt would always glorify the hunter. If the lion doesn't write its own stories, right? Exactly. So if you are trying to borrow the foreign identity of what hip hop is, then I guess in a sense we can call this hip life, but it is high life music.
All right.
We started rapping. In fact, when you mentioned JW, people were giggling and laughing. If you follow the history of hip hop, right, the earliest hip hop rappers in the US used to rap like that. The first person to break it down systematically was Eric B. and Rakim. Rakim for president. Eric B. for president. He broke it down systematically. So without Eric B. and Rakim, you wouldn't have the Jay-Z's, you wouldn't have the Lil Waynes, you wouldn't have all the modern rappers we had back then. So the earliest rappers used to rap like JW. So we have a lot of work to do. We have a lot of work to do.
You have to fish out this man. Kofi, I don't know whether you're familiar with Covenant Heart.
No.
Jesus Christ. The Simigwa rap. I'll try and get you his contact. You bring him to the studio.
Wow.
Yeah. And let him put the Simigwa down. Charlie, let's go.
Bibi, made in Ghana by Kwame.
Yeah, I have a personal connection to this song. I mean, I don't know what happened, but I was in
our mutual friend U-Beat studio.
Oh, U-Beat, yeah.
When Dan Grau brought this song.
Yeah.
And I had come to Ghana at that time. It was in summer. And I heard Kidi's voice. And I love Kidi's voice. When I heard the power with Kidi, I told Ochiame Kwame, he was there, I told him, I want to mix this song. So he gave it to me.
Oh.
So I did the pre-mix. I don't know if this is the actual final mix, but, and I love Uncle Ibo. I used to go to Uhuru House when I was a little boy, go and hang with Uncle Ibo. So as soon as I heard the horns, I told him, this is Uncle Ibo. He said yes. So it's a very beautiful.
Amazing.
I really love it, and I think he did a really good job of it. This is what I think High Life should be at that time it was done. It's honest to the traditions, but it has moved forward. It's just beautiful. Yeah.
All right, thank you very much. And we're still live on Joy Prime, Joy News, Joy 99.7 FM. This is the 8th edition of Showbiz Roundtable, and we are talking about how to preserve high life music. You can send your comments to us via 0551 575757 or 0551111997. We're also very active on social media, Joy Prime, Joy News, and Joy 99.7 FM. When we come back, we get into some more exciting conversations.
Today, I dedicate my meal to Mohammed Kudus. He is Mohammed Kudus. Okay. He is my inspiration. And I salute Kibo. So I present to you Champion Taste. Champion Taste is about Kibo hot pepper soup, paired with one of our favorite local food, konkonte, commonly known as face the wall. And you will wash it down with carrot ginger drink. I believe by the time you are done tasting, I'll go score more points.
Ghana's biggest kids cooking reality show is back. Big Chef Junior, where young talents showcase creativity, confidence, and culture. One dish at a time. Watch simple ingredients turn into culinary masterpieces and big dreams come true. Are you between 8 and 12 years old with passion, personality, and love for food? You don't need to be perfect. Just ready to shine. Send us a 1-minute video of yourself cooking your favorite meal via WhatsApp 055-157-5757. Be ready to become the next Big Chef Junior star. Big Chef Junior, good meals by kids.
Today, I am the chosen one.
That the biggest foundation is life, is education, you know what I'm saying?
We are here to discuss the business that runs the show.
Telecell, connecting energies.
Angel on the track. I'm a lit kid beat.
We are having fun on Funky's Paradise. Yeah, 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 yeah. We are having fun on Funky's Paradise. Yeah,
Adventure is small.
yeah,
No need
yeah.
to think twice.
We are having fun on Funky's Paradise. Yeah, 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 yeah. We are having fun on Funky's Paradise. Yeah,
Adventure is small. No need to think twice.
we are building a learning, reaching new heights. Our curious minds shine like the lights.
With puzzles to solve and crafts so precise. We laugh out loud. It's pure delight.
We are having fun on Funky's Paradise. Yeah, 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 yeah. We are having fun on Funky's Paradise. Yeah,
Adventure is small.
yeah,
No need
yeah.
to think
We
twice.
are having fun on Funky's Paradise. Yeah, 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 yeah. We are having fun on Funky's Paradise. Yeah,
Adventure is small. No need to think twice.
from science tricks to a story so wise. We play and grow under sunny skies.
Together we rise like birds that fly. For kids is the place. Come give it a try.
We are having fun on Funky's Paradise. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Anume wo Bibi once a rimpo no one insana nina go all the day onupo odaninya na so cha zaman sakara
final production stage of letting them play, and you do your balancing of the sound. So what you are trying to do is the sound which later comes on the recording, you are creating it in that studio. You must be able to imagine how it's going to sound on the record.
Wow.
And if you don't get it right, you will spend months trying to correct it. So the A and Z of engineering is to get it right while you're recording. And then this way the mixing becomes fun.
Wow. So when you are creating the piece of music, are you the one to determine how the keyboard should play, how the guitar should go, how the...
Absolutely.
How the... You... Oh, okay.
Absolutely, because that's why I said, you know, most musicians, and this is one of the things that upsets me nowadays when I go to watch bands play. John knows it. When we were growing up here, you watch the band, especially the Highlife bands, you know, especially these concert bands. I mean, they were playing Highlife at about 130 beats per minute. The whole night, and they play it precise and tight. And now you watch musicians, everyone on stage is playing 2,000 notes, you know, in every bar, you know, and you don't really understand what they're playing. They've lost this discipline. And a producer's job for a recording is to make sure that only the important things are played by everybody.
Okay.
Yes, and that will come together.
I love that, because I asked that question because I know in modern times, one producer will sit behind, let's say, a console, a computer, and will program the beats, will program this and that. If that producer is not maybe using session players to come and play the musical instrument. And so one person does the programming. But in your days when you did not have these modern equipment, you had to perform and record everything live. So it meant that what you would today do behind the computer, you are doing that by instructing or guiding the various instrumentalists or musicians. Exactly that.
Yes.
Wow.
But you see, you have, even now, if you're doing that, you have to have had the experience of doing it the real way. Because that will influence your choices. If you haven't worked with live musicians and coordinated them, if you sit behind a computer, your scope is narrow.
Okay. Okay.
And back to that statement you made, in Ghana it's different. Internationally, on one song, a lot is happening.
Yeah.
Sometimes I get a band, I record the basics, and the manager takes the backups to another country and they record the vocals there. Because they want to record in that room. Send the vocals back. And when I finish the production, I don't even mix it. I send it off to somebody else. I make a rough mix. Most of the songs you hear on the radio from England, America, and wherever are done like this. It's only in Ghana, Minkwa business.
Yes,
oh, media, because I want to collect the money.
Me bought guitar, me bought keyboard, me bought trumpets. So I'll do everything by myself. No,
Kofi. It's an economic factor.
Let me come to Prof. Prof has been, or he was a music producer. He had a band, the Boko Band.
Yeah.
He produced music for artists as well. While producing music, what went into producing Highlife music? Did you consider, let's say, maybe the feelings of the musician, as in the person who's coming to sing the song, or is it basically about your creativity?
No, it wasn't my creativity. It was the band creativity.
The band's creativity.
You know, I had Ga people in the band, so we played in the Palogo style. In fact, one of the bandsmen was one of the originators of Palogo music, which is O2 Lincoln and that group at Bukum, and I got to know them. So there was that background with the band, and then some of them were Eves and some were Akans. But the thing is, it wasn't really the band where I started to record. You see, like Bibi was saying, I actually worked with Faisal as well. I went to Nigeria with him and with the Bunzu sound.
Yes.
And Fela Kuti was the co-producer.
That's right.
And
you
then
recorded a Decca, right?
EMI in
EMI.
Apapa.
Okay. The EMI.
But then we went. I went with Ghana Films, Kwachi. I worked with Kwachi. So in the end, I decided to form. In fact, if you want to know why I formed a recording studio, I got money in Britain when I worked there for a bit to refurbish my band, which was based in Jamestown, and then the coup started. So we were grounded. So I had all this equipment. So I said, let me start a recording studio. Then the musicians can come before the curfew finish. Nobody gets harassed by the soldiers. And I ended up by recording 200 bands. 200 bands. Yeah, I include, for instance. I haven't read his book yet. This is Kojo Entry.
Kojo Entry, yes.
His classic handles, the band that took them out of Ghana.
The reggae.
Yeah, the reggae band was done in my studio. I mean, that Kwame you heard on, you were playing, was from my studio. That Konimo, one of the songs was from my studio.
Wow.
So I was recording a lot of concert party and guitar bands, particularly. But the strength is, and I agree with Bibi, I was already a musician. I'd worked with so many guitar bands. Okay. So I knew the balance in my head.
Oh, okay.
And I went for the fundamentals like you do. In fact, what I used to do is I just used to take, not the drummer, because I was using a mud outside door, you know, with a lot of leakage between the instruments. So I just took the percussionists, congas, maracas, clips, to play the rhythm. Then the guitarist would play, and the main voice, and I'd just do that in one go. And then everything else I would dub on later, because it was only a 4-track studio. And people say, how can you do it in a 4-track studio? I said, your brain is more powerful than any billion-track studio, more than a billion tracks. In fact, again, Bibi, I had the same problem with Bibi-Mensa. This is why I wanted to see Bibi-Mensa.
Yeah, Abi could not come. He's traveled, but we have him on tape. We'll be playing that.
I was telling Kofi about this story. Abi came one night to me to say he'd just recorded a reggae song with ARC Studio in Tema, but it didn't sound like reggae.
It's a
Boamas, yeah.
Okay.
So they dragged me out of bed. I had to go there and listen to it. And what was wrong with it? Too many notes. And Abi himself put himself into the mix, 4 different keyboards. So which one is reggae? Reggae has to have a distinct skanking beat, a backbeat. So, and I said, just remove some of the instruments. Yeah. In other words, edit. He didn't mind me in the end because it sounded a bit, it sounded like reggae. But it's like a painter. If you take 3 primary colors and you mix all the colors, it turns into gray or something. If it's too many things in the mix, or a cook, too many ingredients, it doesn't taste nice.
Yeah.
So you have to actually be able to edit out the stuff. And luckily I was able to do it. And we can all do it because we all have brains greater than any computer.
Awesome. Beats, you are an audio engineer. You work mainly or mostly on sound. And I know
I was a producer first.
Yeah. No, I'll come there. So I know you are very particular when it comes to sound. Always telling the sound no good, the sound no good. Is there a special or a particular way of recording or mixing Highlife music that is different from other genres of music?
Yes and no. I think the end must always justify the means. For instance, in 2016, I had the rare. I'm a student of like some of the greatest producers. Unfortunately, some are no longer with us, but also with Mr. Kwachi. And even anytime Bibi's in town, we spend a lot of time. We've seen hours on the phone, in the studio. He calls me, I call him. I think we never quite got to a point of innately understanding a lot of our local instruments. For instance, in 2016, I was doing a project that was commissioned by Facebook at the time.
All right.
And I was recording the xylophone.
Okay.
So if you take an instrument like the shaker, right, and the xylophone, they are lead instruments. But in the modern contemporary context, they play a complementary role as part of like a more elaborate ensemble, right? And it gets in the way most of the time. We've gotten used to it, but it's, So drums like the djembe, I hate it as part of an ensemble.
You hate it?
It's a very aggressive instrument. Back in the day, they used to use it in times of war. So it's aggression. Like, I do lots of scores for film and stuff, like work with orchestra and that sort of thing. If I want to portray aggression using a local instrument, that's like one of my first points.
Well, then you go for it.
Yes.
Okay.
So I'm very particular about how and when the djembe is applied.
All right.
So now the sound quality thing you speak about, or you spoke about.
Yeah.
2 things. Recording properly, just like what Mr. Bibi and Prof mentioned, but there's also arrangement, knowing what to play, when to play, how to play. You can have the best engineer in the room. If the song isn't properly arranged, it will sound like crap. You can't save the song. When I'm teaching students, I always use fufu. I love fufu. Aponchin kakra. I use it as a perfect example.
Oh, somebody's salivating already. Relax, relax, relax.
The arrangement of the song is like preparing fufu. You will hardly go to 37 or Kolebu to see a lady with her fingers smashed. You go to your typical chop bar, you have 2 or 3 pounders pounding their lives away. And the lady who is mixing the fufu is concentrating on the moments in between the hits.
Yeah.
It's arrangement.
Yeah.
There's a time and a place for everything. It's in the timing. You miss your timing, you'll be at the emergency ward. You understand? So if you take a symphonic orchestra, sometimes 250 players in one room playing at the same time, it sounds less cluttered than your typical programmed Afrobeat song with only 8 instruments. The difference is the arrangement.
These people are not happy with you.
So in our part of the world, unfortunately, when you are subjected to working with somebody who does it all behind a computer, you have to think like a bass player, think like a keyboard player, think like a drummer, think like a lead singer. You stand a risk of compiling things in a way that shouldn't be. So your first point of call. So often a lot of engineers who work on stuff that is brought to us serve as the role of an arranger because they are now muting things. They are chopping things up, deleting it. I call it trimming the fat. Just like Prof said, he used the perfect analogy to describe it. Too many cooks can spoil the broth.
Yeah.
You see? So yes, there's a thing to be said about the art and the science of sound engineering. It's physics. You need to understand how sound relates, right? I mentioned this Facebook thing. I didn't finish that story. I was recording Mr. Aaron Baby, Sukura. And it was a really sparse piece of music, but he was playing something super, super intentional and elaborate. And I realized that the typical way we often even mic the xylophone is less than ideal because it has a wide dynamic range. It has a lot of overtones. It's a very rich sound, right? So how do we capture this instrument to preserve the authentic nature of the sonic footprint of the instrument, right? So that when somebody listens to it, it actually sounds like they're in a room with you.
Yeah.
And Bibi's, this is something you can relate to. I discussed it with U-Beats. So we mic'd on top and at the bottom, flip the face. So you can get the overtones from the rattles underneath it. But you never see this anywhere. So the more we actually understand the physics and the science behind it, we can actually make better recordings in context of what our music should sound like.
Yeah.
And it should reflect in academia.
Amazing.
In sound engineering books across the world. Because you for Come My Country Can't Show Me Road.
Exactly.
You understand?
Yeah.
So it's an art form, but it's also science. It's physics. You can't get away. You can't get away with it. Some of the best recordings were done on the most basic equipment, just like he said. Like you listen to some of the Beatles album. I have a rare pressing of the White Album, for instance, and Revolver, right? It's phenomenal.
It's 4-track, wasn't it?
4-track. Yeah, 4-track. It's phenomenal, and now you can have as many as 40 tracks, and you'll be lucky if you can get close to that quality.
Interesting.
You understand? So we need to normalize the fact that this is actually serious business, and we need to learn that the art of recording.
Wow, thank you, Beatmenace. Let me go to the performers. Let's get to Adina. So, before you get into the studio to record a Highlife song, what makes you determine or decide that I want this song to be Highlife? Do you get the beat first from the producer, or do you create that concept in your mind before you get into the studio?
Both. Sometimes you create the concept and then you hit up the producer and say, you know what, I've got this idea and I think we should, make it into a beautiful Highlife song. Or you'd go into the studio and maybe the producer has got an idea. So it's easy. It's not like, it has to be like this. Yeah. So it's both.
So while the production is ongoing, do you sometimes suggest to the producer, I mean,
yeah, there's been times when the song is done and I'm listening to it and I feel like it needs some drums.
Yeah.
But I'll suggest. But the thing about me is once I suggest, if you say, no, I think it's fine, I'll listen because I know you know what you're doing.
Yeah.
So, yeah. If you think it's a good idea too, then yeah, win-win.
I know you don't only do Highlife, sometimes you get into other genres as well.
Yeah.
What's the difference between performing a Highlife song and the other genres?
For Highlife, I think it's a cultural, spiritual experience.
Mm-hmm.
It's a Ghanaian genre.
Yeah.
So you definitely have to tap into the old. You watch how they did it.
Exactly.
And you take a bit of that and you apply it on stage. You know if you're singing in local dialects, you have to make sure you're pronouncing words right. Just, as respect to the language and the culture. You see, we know how the rhythm and the beat is for Highlife music. So you make sure you are not rushing the rhythm, you're falling right on the beat, enjoying yourself. And Highlife has got storytelling elements as well.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's advising people. So you need to understand what you're talking about so that you can convey that beautifully on stage. Because a lot is happening. People are watching you, the band is playing, your sound, like so much is happening at once. You need to just hone in, get to the center, and then bring it out nicely. Deliver on all fronts. Make sure you're interacting with the band, you're dancing when you have to be dancing.
Good.
The middle points where nothing is playing and it's just the band playing, you're not singing. You know how to communicate that nicely. But most of all, it's a cultural, spiritual experience. So you have to remember this is a Ghanaian genre. This is a cultural thing. So it's like a lot of responsibility to deliver accordingly.
I like
and yes, people will be watching back like, what's you doing over there? You are spoiling our Highlife. I feel that weight sometimes. So I have to make sure, I'm doing the right thing.
How would you rate the reception you get for your Highlife songs as compared to the other songs?
I feel like when I nail a good Highlife song, I have a lot of admiration and respect from the audience because they're like, wow, she didn't let us down. Because there are a lot of people who will come on stage and, like I said, with pronouncing the words right, be speaking the tree in a very breathless, and they're like, what's going on? Like, if you do that, I wouldn't respect what you've done. Because you're singing chi, you're singing ewe, you're singing ga. Why are you doing that to the words? You're measuring the words.
People singing Highlife in the breathless
No,
age.
that's not it. You're not singing Highlife then. This is
Amandzeba, I know you have an issue with that. Those who breathless there. You see, African language is tonal, and so Amandzeba will always tell you it is tonal. So the tones, Amandzeba, when you are recording your Highlife music, where do you take the inspiration from? Is it from you alone or the producers? I know you also have a production background, but is it mainly you as a performer? Is it your idea alone or from other people as well?
No, you marry ideas. I mean, you don't have it all. You may be on top of it.
Yeah.
The point is, every project you embark on, you must have conceived the idea. For instance, the reason I wanted to contemporize Malugu is that the rhythm is beautiful. If you get into any community and they are playing the drummers and the singers, if you hear typical Malugu, it's not a brother like, no! Come out like a fisherman. You understand? This is a fisher folk thing. So,
and the dancers, you didn't like.
If you go where the dancers come and stand there. Well, the point is, I had a very rude awakening when we went to England to record Malugu Fever.
Okay.
And at that time, it was Rex and I alone. Of course, I traveled somewhere. So then the task, every Malugu song must be very vocal and very, very, gregarious, vicious, Charlie one by one. And I was doing the hook. But then it was me and Rex alone. So then this white boy who was in, Prof, you are not a white man. You are Ghanaian. If you tell me you're a white man, I'll have an issue with you. You know what? Menace, I don't know whether you've experienced that, because we're using the 2-inch tape, you know.
Okay.
And then he says, these tapes are for voices. And what he has to do for us to sound like 1,000 people is that you record at the right pitch. So like, Malago fever, Malago fever. Then he will increase. Then you go, Malago fever, then you go, until you go so fast. And then he slows it down and you are singing, Malago fever.
Wow.
Malago fever. Then you start going to. When he finished.
Okay.
When he finished and he put the thing together, my goodness, I couldn't believe it was just the two of us.
Wow. Oh, it happens.
Yeah. So a lot goes on that people really don't know. And technically, if you are working with the right people, you get the right sound.
Exactly.
I am telling you. So we have so many processes, and he made a mistake by saying that, oh, as for the cowbell, he can play it. So he says, go, because I was playing it. Go. So I gave it to him to try. And then the first 3 seconds, he was on track. He said, go. Now he goes, go. I said, it's a black man's thing.
Okay.
You know, so, a lot. But you see, before, like you asked, before you get to the studio, you must have, there are certain things that are spontaneous. When you get this, you can do some things that you didn't even think of, that it comes on the spur of the moment. But you're going to the studio with an idea that, listen, I want to do something that will surpass, because I've seen that Adina has done something, but I want to go beyond Adina. That is not negative. The negativity comes from where Adina has done it and I'm eyeing her and doing cho around her. So you always want to improve on something that you had. I draw inspiration from Osibisa, I draw inspiration from Jimmy Cliff, I draw inspiration from every part of the world. Because I have done covers that I have not really published yet. Okay. Like Tears on My Pillow and those. Charlie, when you highlight those things, I'm telling you. And so you listen to people who, when they even open their voice to sing, it inspires you a lot. And the Kakeku.
Yes.
And the way he will weave it. You know, so when you listen to Wulome, E.T. Benza, Black Beat, you know, there's a whole pool of inspiration that we can all tap into. But the point is, most of the time, we're engaged in our individual, you know, sort of upliftment that even most of the collaborations that I hear around, they're not collaborations, they are features.
Yeah.
So collaboration musically or any form of arts or culture must be with the total involvement of your soul. And I have to know, Charlie, whether we are clicking or we're not, because somebody will come with different idea coming from a different place, so you cannot actually synergize. You understand? So, but all in all, I'm thinking that music, purely like you said, is science.
Yeah.
It's mathematics.
Yeah.
You can't arrange your songs and get one bar off and so you are going according to time. And it's amazing how, like I said earlier on, our fisher folks compose those songs they do. When they are drawing the net, bringing the fish, they go with it's groovy. It's really, you can actually stand there and or even go help draw the thing, because what you are hearing is so pleasant.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
So the very, very, very basic things are what we're supposed to build on.
Great.
For inspiration. And when you sit in the bus and you're alone, traveling, everybody is knocked off, they are sleeping. You hear sound, you hear music. No, seriously, you hear things that you were wondering where it is coming from.
Yeah.
So inspiration is, the one who created us planted that in us for us to be able to have, that kind of contact with other people and synergize.
So thank you very much, Amandzeba and the entire panel. It's been very educative so far. This is the 8th edition of Showbiz Roundtable. We're live on Joy 99.7 FM, Joy News Channel, and we transmitting live from Joy Prime Studios here. Already I have some of your comments coming through. You can send yours 0551 575757 or 055-1111-997. We're also very active on social media, and we have some of our stakeholders of the industry right here in the studio. In due time, they'll be asking their questions. I know they have questions to ask, and then we'll also be taking a word from Mr. Kalampa from UNESCO. But in the meantime, let me read these comments. This one says, kudos to Joy, getting all these speakers in one place is impressive. This is really good. Showbiz A to Z, learning a lot, very educative and informative. You did not add your name to this one. Big respect to the team for this conversation. I believe Highlife is the root of most of the music we hear today. But why do many young artists prefer Afrobeats instead of Highlife? Maybe I will throw this question to Yao Darling. Yao Darling, who is here? He's a Highlife artist anyways. Also, I think if the government creates a special fund for producing Highlife songs or policy to support Highlife musicians, the upcoming or up-and-coming artists will have an interest in it. My name is Kofi. Kofi, thank you very much for that comment. And then another one here says, Kwame, a lot here. I'm enjoying the show. I agree that some of the songs are evolutions of Highlife, but it doesn't make it less Highlife. Nonetheless, our identity can always be spotted no matter what the changes are. And then more comments here. This one says, I am loving the program. Well done to Kwame, Dadzie and the team. This is quality entertainment with knowledge. Highlife is our heritage and we should keep promoting it proudly. Up and coming musicians must learn to do Highlife from Kwesi inside Kofi. Great job to Kwame, Dadzie and the team. This is very engaging and informative discussion. Highlife is Ghana's pride and we must continue to preserve it. But my question is how? This is from Justice Amasama. Another comment here says, production and everything is nice. Shouts to Kwame, Dadzie and the team. Good job. This is what we call entertainment in an educative way. I'm really enjoying this. Highlife is really us, and we need to be proud of it. Coming from Loretta. I have 3 more of your comments coming through. I'm really enjoying this discussion. Thanks so much for enjoying and listening. Well done to the team. Highlife is our musical identity, but we must be honest with ourselves. If the industry does not make Highlife commercially attractive to young artists, they would naturally move to other genres. So my question is, how do we make Highlife both culturally respected and economically rewarding? From Dr. Kenneth. Isaac is my name. Excellent production and a very thoughtful conversation. Kudos to you and the team. In my view, the problem is not that Highlife is disappearing. The problem is that we have not positioned it well for the modern generation. Kudos to the team for this discussion. And Notedua, who is part of the Joy or Multimedia family, he is host of Ultimate Health on Joy FM, and he sent in this one. He says, excellent distinction of collaboration from feature by Nuts, Amandzeba, and then he gives you the two hand like this. And he says, great discussion. How would they classify the current productions, especially with regards to noise? Naughty. Okay, but let me get into our audience for today. I know some of you have questions to ask, but before that, let me announce that we have Asa Nkansa. Asa Nkansa is the leader for the Kwampa band, and he is a Highlife musician. He is one of the people that I learned so much from when it comes to Highlife. He's also here with us. Let's put our hands together for him. Yes, and there is a lady right beside you. I don't know if you're a musician or a music lover, but hi to you. Okay. Yeah, and then Mr. Carl Ampa, he is the National Professional Officer for UNESCO, for Culture for UNESCO, yes, and he is here with us. Honored to have you. Put your hands together for him. There is this man who's been traveling the world over to teach Highlife music and to perform music as well. And he's been holding Highlife down like nobody's business. Della Boachie is here with us. Put your hands together for him. And our mom has not left us. Yes, the CEO of the Ghana Tourism Authority, Maame Efua Houadjeto, is still here. Put your hands together for her. Another brother of mine, I used to fight with him a lot on several pages on WhatsApp, but he's my good friend, a very good friend now. Jerry Wonder is a journalist here with us this afternoon. Put your hands together for Jerry. Now, there is this young chap who says, people are doing all sort of new forms of music, but I will stick to Highlife music. If you've listened to Thank God It's Friday, yeah, you know who I'm talking about. Your darling is here. A hand for him. And the most vibrant PRO in Ghana now for the creative industry, she works for Cracks Global. She is for Cracks Global, and she is a PR executive. We have another industry stakeholder. He's very vibrant when it comes to copyright issues. And then the other left, right, center is here. And Seven Xavier is president for the Ghana Music Alliance. Okay, let me stretch. Yeah, and some amazing people there. Let's say, okay, wave. Okay, thank you very much for coming. And so we are now inviting your questions. We would open the floor again, but let's take 3 questions now. We go for a break. When we come back on the last lap, then we also get into some more questions. Who's ready to ask a question? Tilly, okay. Please give the mic. Okay, Tilly has the mic already.
Please, should I stand?
Yeah. Oh, you can stand. You can sit.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, stand. Yeah.
All right. So I'm very excited I was invited to be here.
Yeah.
Because I'm listening and I'm learning a lot.
Great.
And I think per what I've heard today, it's not as if Highlife is disappearing now. I think there has been something fundamentally wrong with passing on the knowledge of what it was or what it is to the new generation.
Yeah.
Because as I sit here and the conversation was going on, I'm like, I didn't even listen to reggae dancehall growing up. But when it plays, I know this is reggae. So how am I in Ghana and then Abin Waha has to play and I'm here and today I have to learn it's not Highlife? Or something about it is not Highlife. Like it is crazy. So I'm asking myself, where did we lose it? At which point? Because it is generational. It started from somewhere. They have the knowledge of what Highlife is. So how are we at this point and we can't even identify that, oh, this is not Highlife, this is Highlife, this has the element, this doesn't. How did we lose it? How did we lose it? Because I really want to hear from the scholars who know the history. At which point did we lose it? And how can we actually recover it? Because at this point, I feel sad for my generation. Very sad.
Okay. Tilly is asking how we lost it. Okay. Thank you, Tilly. Della, you have the microphone.
Should I stand or sit?
You can sit.
Thank you. I think mine is a contribution, and then the question. In every country, for instance, like in Ghana, we have our own culture. We are talking about high life. When you go to the Volta region, we have our traditional music that represent the Voltarians. If you go to the Ashanti region, they have their music that is representing them. Okay, so now when we are talking about Ghana, now we are talking about high life. High life is just one genre of our music. For instance, we can also choose Agbaja music to make it more popular. Angela Kujo did the same thing.
Yeah.
We can go to the Volta region and say, for instance, we can put all the horns, structures, the drum set, and all the elements and put it together. We can commercialize it, or we can make it more contemporary music.
Yeah.
I believe in traditional mixed with the contemporary extensions, because without a tradition, there is no extension. And my contribution again is that all we are talking about here today in Ghana is watching.
Okay.
If the Ministry of Education has not come into it, I'm very glad Madam is here. So if you go, you tell the government that we, the people in the music industry, are saying that if high life can be preserved, developed, and promoted, it has to start from the bottom. Because I started my musical career in 1979 at the age of 10 years.
Wow.
So if I'm sitting here playing and I know music around Ghana, I know about music from all the regions in Ghana, that means I've gone through, like Amandzeba said, that's how we normally do it before I understand how to write what is crochet.
Wow.
What is a bar? What is a stave? What is the meaning of all these structures? My professor is sitting down there. You know, because you have to pass through the oral stage. And if the children don't learn about music from the schools, then everything we are doing here, next year we'll come and do it and it's zero. Always zero. Always zero. We will talk and talk and talk and nothing will go on. So this is my contribution.
Okay, Maame. Okay, yeah.
I would like to say that knowledge is power.
Yeah.
You know, sitting here, I have learned a lot.
Great.
It is very important for the Ministry of Education to introduce culture into our curriculum again. The Minister for Tourism, Culture and Creative Arts is having some conversation with him.
Oh, wow.
And we are all supporting that move. Because, you see, it's only when we understand that we get to appreciate what we have. And then the government can also finance what we have. At the moment, there's lack of knowledge. Only a few people know it because of the passion that they have in music. And you know, most musicians here, I'm not sure how they became musicians, but I know that probably they had mentors, they listened to radio, they listened to, or they had, or they were from families that sang. You know, I spoke to Apostle Hayes long ago, and he said, you know what? When he was younger, all he did was listen to music on radio, and it became a part of him. You know, so people learn it differently. But if we get to learn it from school, right from the basics, you know, and we have a little knowledge of it, then when we hear it, we can appreciate what we are listening to.
Sure.
And of course, then the youth that come out of that, you know, would also understand what they are playing.
Great.
And then they play it well to an audience that understands it. But if you're playing what you want to an audience that does not understand it, you do whatever you want.
Sure.
It is time we understand who we are. It is time we get educated on music and a number of our cultural stuff, you know, so that the world can understand us and appreciate us better.
I love that.
Thank you.
Put your hands together for GTSU, Maame, Efua, Houadjeto. Let me take Asa, then I take UNESCO, then we continue. Asa and Kansa.
The mic is with me already.
Oh, the mic is with Yao Darling. Okay, so yeah, Yao Asa UNESCO. Yeah, Yao, let's hear you.
So my name is Yao Darling. I'm a young Highlife artist, and I'm so honored to be here. I'm really enjoying the conversation.
Great.
So my question is, what practical structures can be put in place to help young Highlife artists like me to promote the genre internationally while still preserving its authentic sound? That's my question.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you very much. Yao. Okay. Asa. All right. Okay. So Asan Kansa is leader of Kwampa Band. Let's hear you, Asa.
Thank you. All right. So there's an adage in Cree that says, "Benuswa emia."
Sure.
To it, if two or more carry the load, it becomes less weightier or less heavier.
Yeah.
Now, how difficult or easy will it be if every Ghanaian musician who identifies as Ghanaian decides to call his or her music Highlife music? So irrespective of the tempo, irrespective of where you are doing it, once you identify as Ghanaian and you are doing Ghanaian music, how easy or difficult will it be if we should say, I am doing Highlife music? Now, there are different elements of Highlife music. Most of the time, we are tempted to box it into just the sonics. But beyond the sonics, there is context. Every Highlife music has context.
Okay.
And I always say this, there is no music for music's sake. It's always presented in context.
All right.
So even if your music does not have direct sonic elements of Highlife music, you can always have the other elements in terms of the context, in terms of the lyrics, what you are saying in your music. So I'm just saying that, will it be difficult or easy? In my opinion, we can deliberately set an agenda. Thankfully, UNESCO has inscribed Highlife as a part of our intangible cultural heritage. So what if we set an agenda deliberately that we are doing this, we are pushing this? Because thankfully, Highlife is not one of those music traditions which any ethnicity, if I could, or any area can lay total claim. Say we are media, honey free. Thankfully, it is popular music, and so we can easily push it together. So I'm just saying, will it be difficult or easy if every Ghanaian everywhere who identifies as Ghanaian, of course, there are some Ghanaians who do not identify as Ghanaian. So, but those of us who identify as Ghanaian, no matter where you are, the kind of music you do, how easy or difficult will it be to say, I'm a Highlife musician, I'm doing Highlife music?
I think Resoma a few years ago started this campaign, and he said we should call it Highlife, the Hi-Life. I remember that. Okay, let's get to Mr. Oh yeah, please, your name and then your question.
Okay, so my name is Paulina August.
Your name is
Paulina August.
Okay,
like the month.
Were you born in August? Okay, sorry. Let's go on.
Okay, so culture is preserved by passing it on from one generation to another, and in the conversation we're having, there's a missing link. We have people like Konimo, we have Amandzeba here, and all the other people that have sat with the previous people and then the generation before. What are the structures we've put in place? Do we have people understudying these people, passing on those innate traits? That's one thing. We would lose that if we do not have people understudying these people. The second thing is, how are we documenting these things? Just as you have said and the panel has said, if you don't tell your story, someone's going to tell it for you, and they're going to tell it in their perspective. So how are we telling this story? How are we doing? Are we just always hosting shows? How are we doing that?
Okay.
And the third one is, how are we looking at Highlife in the long term? We're, as Africans, as a continent, unfortunately, we're very short-sighted. How are we looking at it in the long run? What are we putting in place? How is it going to evolve? All these structures to be put in place. We've heard them saying because of certain things, they had to evolve the music from doing it on set into putting instruments and all of that. These structures, how are they being placed? Thank you so much.
Thank you, August. And now, Carl Amper has a microphone. Sir, your question first.
Okay.
Then I'll ask you a question.
Okay. I'm looking at the gender dynamics within the Highlife space, and I wish the panel would talk about it.
Okay.
Because I know women were also very instrumental.
Great.
And what were some of the challenges? We know within the creative sector, women have a lot of challenges, and it will be good to know some of these. And it will help the younger ones coming up. Hopefully, they will be able to overcome them and become greater Highlife musicians as we want to see. Yeah. So the gender dynamics, and including people with disabilities, were they a part of this whole? If they were, it would be good to highlight them as well, so that people who are in that category do not feel left out. We are talking about inclusion.
Great.
Thank you.
Great. Okay. Okay, put your hands together for them, but no, have the microphone. I have a question for you. Okay, so before we answer the questions they've asked, let me ask him a question. So we heard the news or the information that UNESCO has listed Highlife as Ghana's intangible cultural heritage. What does it mean?
It's deep. I have a written statement that I have taken time to put these things down. So during my session.
Okay, I wish we could do that now. If I should give you a minute.
If you don't mind.
Okay, so you can read that now.
Yeah.
All right, you're still listening to Showbiz Roundtable. This is the 8th edition, and we're coming to you live from the studio of Joy Prime Television. We're live on JoyNews and then Joy 99.7 FM. Already some of you are sending in your comments. You are enjoying the conversation, and we are receiving your comments via 055-1111-997 or 055-1575757. You can still keep sending in your questions and your comments. We are talking Highlife and how to preserve it. But most importantly, if UNESCO has listed Highlife as Ghana's intangible cultural heritage, what does it mean? Carl.
So I will just give a little background of what UNESCO is so that people get to know.
Great.
And then I'll flow. So the United Nations Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization, commonly known as UNESCO, was established in 1945 with the mission of promoting peace, sustainable development, and international cooperation through education, the sciences, culture, and communication. One of UNESCO's most important responsibilities is safeguarding cultural heritage, both tangible and intangible. Of course, the tangible is what we see, we can feel. The intangible are the practices that are passed on. So in the case of Highlife, how it's played and those kinds of details would fall under the intangible. Through the 2003 Convention for the Safeguarding of Intangible Cultural Heritage, UNESCO works with countries to protect living traditions such as music, dance, oral traditions, festivals, and craftsmanship that communities recognize as part of their cultural identity. And in recent years, Ghana achieved a significant milestone when Highlife music and dance were inscribed on UNESCO's representative list of the intangible cultural heritage for humanity. This recognition affirms Highlife not only as a musical genre, but as a living cultural tradition that reflects Ghana's social history, creativity, and collective identity. Highlife is more than entertainment. It is a cultural language emerging in the early 20th century, as we've been told, and evolving for more than 100 years. Highlife combines indigenous Ghanaian rhythms with Western instruments such as guitars, brass, and percussion. Historically, the music developed along the coastal regions of Ghana and gradually spread across West Africa, influencing several modern genres, including hip life and Afrobeats. The identity of Highlife lies in four main characteristics. First, Highlife serves as a form of storytelling. We've heard that. Through lyrics, musicians communicate social commentary, moral lessons, humor, and historical reflections. Songs often address issues such as education, relationships, community values, and national development. Second, Highlife represents musical hybridity. It blends African rhythmic structures with Western harmonic and instrumental traditions, demonstrating cultural exchange and innovation. Third, Highlife thrives on community participation. It is traditionally performed during weddings, festivals, funerals, and naming ceremonies, events that bring communities together and strengthen social cohesion. Finally, Highlife is transmitted across generations through mentorship, performance traditions, and increasingly through academic institutions and cultural programs. From UNESCO's perspective, safeguarding Highlife aligns closely with the principles of the 2003 Convention for the Safeguarding of Intangible Cultural Heritage. The convention emphasizes that intangible heritage must remain living and dynamic. Preservation, therefore, does not mean freezing culture in time. It means ensuring that traditions continue to evolve while maintaining their core identity. This safeguarding process includes documentation of musical archives, and I'm glad that Prof is here. I know he has his own. Support for practitioners, we've talked a bit about that. Transmission of knowledge to younger generations. The lady by my right has already talked about that. And the promotion of cultural diversity. Preserving Highlife also contributes significantly to the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. For instance, Sustainable Development Goal 11 focuses on making cities and communities inclusive and sustainable, including safeguarding cultural heritage. Protecting Highlife strengthens Ghana's cultural identity and ensures that traditional knowledge remains part of contemporary society. Sustainable Development Goal 8 promotes decent work and economic growth. The creative and cultural industries, including music production, festivals, tourism, and performance, create employment opportunities for artists, producers, event organizers, and cultural entrepreneurs. Cultural recognition through UNESCO can further stimulate investment in Ghana's creative economy. Highlife also contributes to Sustainable Development Goal 4 on quality education, which my good friend on my left talked about. The genre serves as a repository of language, history, and social values, making it a powerful educational tool for teaching culture, creativity, and national identity. Beyond the global agenda, the preservation of Highlife is directly linked to Ghana's national development. Cultural heritage strengthens national unity by reminding citizens of their shared history and values. It also enhances cultural tourism, attracts international interest, and positions Ghana as a leader in African cultural diplomacy. However, safeguarding Highlife requires deliberate, I think I should underline that, deliberate and sustained efforts. First, there must be a systematic documentation of digital archiving of historic recordings, instruments, and oral histories of Highlife musicians. Second, educational institutions should integrate Highlife studies into music curricula, ensuring that young people learn both its theory and performance traditions. Third, policymakers and cultural organizations should support musicians and cultural practitioners through funding, training programs, and platforms for performance. And finally, communities themselves must remain central to the safeguarding process. After all, intangible heritage survives only when communities continue to practice, value, and transmit it. In conclusion, Highlife is not simply a musical genre. It is a symbol of Ghana's cultural resilience, creativity, and identity. Its recognition by UNESCO affirms its global cultural value, but the responsibility for its preservation rests primarily with us, and that's Ghana. By aligning the safeguarding of Highlife with UNESCO cultural conventions, the Sustainable Development Goals, and national development strategies, Ghana can ensure that this rich musical heritage continues to inspire future generations and contribute meaningfully to cultural and economic progress. So basically, this sums it, and I hope it answers your question.
Exactly. Put your hands together for Mr. Kalampa. And he is a national professional officer for culture for UNESCO here in Ghana, and he has done justice to that. Now, let me go through the questions that were asked, but I would like that every resource person here answers one question so that we don't go over and over the questions. Okay, and so Tilly asked that how did we lose the Highlife identity, as in why did we get to a point where certain type of songs are Highlife at a point and not Highlife at a point in time? How did we lose that? Let me throw that to Beatmenace.
Wow.
Is it a matter of we losing the trajectory, or what is it?
Well, first and foremost, I think collectively as a people, we do not have a national agenda.
Yeah.
That ended when Houadjeto's government was overthrown. I think, I mean, Prof, correct me if I'm wrong, up until 1988, basic music education was a thing in the school, the public school system,
okay.
right?
Okay.
Was a core subject. Yeah, music
was a core subject.
Was a core subject. Okay. And as someone who works in music actively, I can actually see the effect it's had on our popular music.
All right.
98% of all the music produced in Ghana today have a very restricted melodic palette. I was working with an artist a couple of years ago. He brought a song to me and I felt that certain things could be better. And I was suggesting alternative melodies he could sort of splice with what he already had. And he couldn't even reproduce it. So as far as his brain was concerned, he couldn't even fathom the existence of those notes and possibilities. Okay. That is a fundamental problem, okay? I was speaking to Boachie-Ansah. I'm sure we all know him here.
Yeah, Panji.
And he told me that when he was a boy, you know, his dad was a medical doctor, but he was in the army. So he grew up on, you know, they stayed in Birmingham. And it was a thing to prevent a classist system. It was mandatory for everyone to own at least one atentemben, which is our local bamboo flute.
Yeah.
Okay. The point being that even if you couldn't afford any sophisticated musical instrument, you could go to the bush, harvest, you know, the bamboo, and fabricate your own instrument. Okay?
Yeah.
Now, in the last 4 years, I'd been working with a colleague and the New York University. It's a personal project of ours that NYU decided to support. And we're using a public school, overcrowded, underfunded. Okay? And I prioritized girls for reasons I'll discuss later. And I specifically asked for children who were not performing well academically. So I was fusing music education and technology. So we're using iPads.
Okay.
Because it was self-funded, we only had 6 iPads. So we had like 12 students who had to share 6 iPads. So I was using FL Studio, which is a popular software a lot of, you know, people use today to make music. And I was teaching them notes and all of that. Now the purpose for this research is supposed to dovetail into a yellow paper we are working on to democratize music education and strip it of colonial remnants. So basically the idea is to come up with a system that can be repurposed in any community, any underprivileged community around the world.
Okay.
Swap it with certain cultural elements and it becomes valid, right? I kid you not. In 3 months, they started performing better.
Wow.
In other subjects.
Wow.
Their critical reasoning and problem-solving capabilities were drastically improved, right?
Amazing.
Now I'm saying this to say this, and this is backed by science. You can actually Google it to read on it. Art and music education is very integral to the development, the mental development of a child.
Yeah. Sure.
There's a reason why as a people we have lots of problems, we can't find solutions to them. It's one thing to be, the brain is divided into 2 parts, the right and the left hemisphere. There's one that is critical thinking, one is problem solving. The problem solving part of it is your creative center. And the brain is the hardest muscle to train. So if you strip art and music from the basic educational level, it's just an accident waiting to happen later down the line. All problems we have in this country have simple solutions, but they're not easy to implement. That's the difference.
Okay.
Now, why is we have a problem with cultural memory and transmission? Primarily because it starts from a well-designed, thought-through policy on culture.
Yeah.
That should inform education. It should inform even media policy. For instance, I'll give you a classic example. Let's use real-world examples, right? Joy FM. Right now, most of the stations transmit digitally.
Yeah.
Right? So it's easy to check the back end, see the numbers. You know how many people are tuned in at any point in time. Every year you have to renew your license with the NCA, right? They should make it mandatory that at some point, if they check the back end and they see that you've met a certain quota, you should get tax rebates. People need to be incentivized. Here's the funny thing about the human brain. We adapt to things we hear and see constantly, regularly. So if you are bombarded left, right, center with foreign music, that's what naturally you evolve to appreciate. It's human nature. That's the way we are set up biologically. Yeah. Right? Yeah. So we need to have stations incentivized. Secondly, we have different classifications of media entities. They are non-profit, community radio stations, whatnot. If you travel to America today, there are stations that play bluegrass music from the 1920s.
Well, so
there's also a disconnect. Okay. This is very, very important. I need to say this because for 15, 20 years, I've been working with a lot of bands that are mostly exported outside of Ghana. This is something Bibi, Hammond, Amandzeba, you guys are very intimately aware of. In the last 50 or so years, Ghana's largest music exports have not been our popular artists. I worked extensively with Uncle Ebo.
Explain.
May his soul rest in peace. Uncle Ebo in 2015 had a show in Japan. Tickets sold out in an hour. He had so many fans in Japan, people had to lodge at the airport to get a glimpse of the guy. And he was singing in fancy.
Okay.
Now, until we have a way of bridging these seemingly divergent worlds together, where you have the legacy or younger, like Santrophy, right? They're doing sold out shows, 55, 75 shows a year, all those sorts of things, right?
Yeah.
We need to find a way of making people like that accepted. I was in a record shop for 3 hours. This was outside of Ghana. The phone called, the phone rang. The guy went to pick up the phone. The person was asking for Ejako Dimo vinyl and Kakaiku vinyl.
Okay.
Make it make sense. So, you know, sometimes in the radio, I mean, I see Tilly here. It's really great to see you.
Yeah.
We've had lots of conversations in the media where people will be like, yeah, but foreigners are stealing our music and all of this. Listen, Hugh Masekela came to Ghana in the 70s. Bibi worked with him. Mick Fleetwood or Fleetwood Mac came to record an album, Faisal Helwani, 1980s, 1981.
So, Beat, you are saying that the missing link here is the basics, the education.
People respect our high life more than we do. When I produced the Santrophy album, I went on interviews and people will say, oh, you sound very educated and eloquent. Why high life?
All right.
So there's this mentality, and you know, there are so many layers that we need to unpack, right? Sure. It's certainly not an easy fix. We need to start from somewhere.
Great.
I was super excited to hear this whole thing about the policy on culture. I've been saying for 15 years. It feels old. Recently, I heard it's been redrafted. But how does that feed into media, the educational curriculum, all of these things? We need to discuss it. And I'll say this before I leave.
Yeah, you have 30 seconds.
All the big names in Highlife who made it globally were all part of amazing, continentally recognized bands in Ghana.
All right.
Take Osibisa, Teddy Osei, Solamafio. I did one of the last recordings before he passed with him, and he was telling me how it was part of the Stargazers, the Comets, when they left Ghana, Uhuru at some point even. Right? You have people like Eddie Kwanzaa. You have Eddie Kwanzaa is still alive. He's in Australia right now. He's pushing 90s. He should be in his 90s. All of these guys had to leave Ghana to become internationally recognized because their trade was politicized because of the proximity to a particular government or political party. These things have to be deconstructed. We need to actually address the elephant in the room, first and foremost.
Great. Thank you, Beatmenace. Thank you very much. Now, okay. I think Carl asked a question about the gender dynamics. Let me get to Adina now. Yeah. I know somebody will say,
I ask that question a lot.
Somebody will say, there is only one woman on the panel. Why the women, don't you do high life music? Why the younger people, the women's side? Do you know a number of them that do high life? Like you do?
Yeah, I mean, Adina does high life. Sister Efua has done high life. We've got elements of high life in Efua.
Okay.
Efua's music, Sina Soul. I would say a lot of the females do high life. I think it comes easy. Natural to us. Yeah.
Okay. Don't you think there is any challenge, anything that is preventing a lot more of them to get into that fray?
I think the challenges that we face with high life music is not gender based. I think it's all of us.
It's a general thing.
It's a general thing. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. There's a question that Asa asked. He asked, how difficult will it be to call all the Ghanaian songs high life? And this question has come up a number of times. Bita, beg, I'll come back to you. Let me ask Bibi this question. Asa is suggesting that maybe we should call all songs or music from Ghana, we should call them high life music. Do you agree? Is it possible?
Well, this is like going to say all Western music is classical music or pop music. It's realistically not possible because I think it's left to the artist himself to decide what his music is. You know, and if there's now one umbrella which says, because you come from Ghana, so your music is high life, I think it's a bit controversial. I think it must be left to certain groups of musicians to say, yes, we do high life, and the rest should decide what they want to call their music or in what grouping their music. It would be like forcing people to be grouped into some faction.
One of the ways of preserving high life music is passing on the craft to the younger generation. Darling asked a question about what we are doing to make sure the younger people also take on this craft. Amandzeba, you have been in this industry for a long time. What do you think we should do as a people to make sure the younger generation also take on the craft?
It's just to be yourself. Can you be somebody else? If you are yourself, then automatically high life must be embedded in your soul. The Americans have a genre they call soul. The African Americans, I'm sure you understand. They're talking about the music of their soul. And if you're talking about high life must be ingrained in everybody. I mean, it must be inherited from father to son to great-grandson and whatever. The point is that we are the only people on earth who want to be more Americans than Americans and be more Chinese than Chinese. Listen, for me, I think we don't have to propagate an idea like this. You have to be born with it. Your environment, actually, when I was growing up, high life was all around us. There was no particular design to hand it over. You must naturally gravitate towards that. And so, if a question like that is asked, how do we? Do you have ears? If you have ears, then open them up. Your receptacles must be ready to roam around and take what is yours into your soul. You understand? So, for instance, let me just divert a little. You want us to put Rocky Dawuni's music and call it high life? When he's playing reggae? He's a Ghanaian. You see, everything that is coming from every Ghanaian, every music that is coming from every Ghanaian must be under the title of high life. But you see, some people also created high life. They created it not because it was a new thing, but they actually used what they have here to take it to that level, like I said. If I am an R&B artist, music is music. I can choose to be an R&B artist, and I'll just call it R&B. I will play Afro beat and call it Afro beat.
Okay.
But let not me play something else and come and call it high life because I'm a Ghanaian. Because we are all here, and I'm telling you, like I began my submission, that we are the only people who want to be everybody but ourselves. We don't, I mean, why would a group of people look at their own culture, look down on it, but not appreciate it. And I feel it's so unimaginable for me to go out there somewhere and they ask me, 2004 we were at Switzerland. We played at the Saas-Fee Jazz Festival. It is a festival that, brings along orchestral groups and stuff like that. But because I was calling my group Native Orchestra, so they thought it was an orchestra. we were invited anyway. Okay. But the orchestra really, because I had heavy percussion, Oko and Injoli.
Wow. Together.
Yeah, I'm telling you.
Unbelievable.
Oko and Injoli together. Serious. Gongo on the dondo.
Serious.
So you can imagine when we were going to do our sound check, I came, I think, about 5 minutes late. So as I was getting towards the auditorium, I had some nice, I think it was a blues jazz. I said, hey, Charlie, Pluto is in this competition. When I entered the hall, it was my group. I said, stop the nonsense. Excuse me to say, you guys. Can't you play anything Ghanaian? So I asked them, do you sing? When the guy started playing this, I think it was East Germany and West Germany, I think about 4 orchestra. They all went straight to the stage. How do you play this? Oh, this is nice. And so I was sitting at the back and said, hey, Poppy. I said, me, Poppy. You are taking cold to Newcastle. Yes. Yeah. When you have yours to go and listen, we played 2 of the shows, and our singers and dancers were dressed like us. Yeah. Otufo, When we finished, they bought all the beats that the girls wore. Injole sold his percussion. Oko sold it. The money they made. I don't see the reason why. There we go. Okay. Look, Ghanaian culture. Okay.
It's money.
One of the best in the whole. Look, if you take a country like Ghana, go around every region. All right. And you see hear music and you see how powerful we are. But then
I'll come to you.
I just don't know why. We made us.
Adina, quickly, then I come to Prof. We're still looking at how to preserve high life, and Amandzeba has thrown some light on how the younger people can take on high life. Adina, quickly.
I wanted to add to that. Okay. The question for him. Yeah. I feel like even Beats has mentioned it. Yes. All stakeholders involved need to play their parts. All right. So it should be put in the educational system. Yeah. The government or whoever is involved should make sure high life concerts are organized for festivals, so that the young people who are watching know that, oh, this is also lucrative. Because guess what? The only reason why the young people are gravitating towards Afrobeat or whatever is popular is because they've seen that it's taking somebody to O2 Arena. They've seen that that's what is making somebody fly out of Ghana. So if whatever we are building is centered around our culture, our heritage, naturally, we're going to gravitate towards it. But we like you said, they push the Western music on the radios, and so that's what's looking attractive. So why don't we all go back to the drawing board and push what is ours?
Awesome.
And then automatically...
Awesome. Just 1 second. Just 1 second, please.
You have to know that there's the grand agenda of colonizing us culturally. Yes. If we are all towing the line of West, the day they pull off the plug, you'll be standing alone because it's not yours.
Yes.
You understand? So good.
Let's get to Prof. Prof has been documenting the high life history, the story. We've read the books, the High Life Time 1, 2, 3. And let me ask, Prof, are you the only person who has done this? Because I know other people have written about High Life, but how important is it for us to get more people like you to write about our music, to document our story in books or maybe in documentaries? How important is that?
It's vital. I mean, I just came at a particular time in Ghana when the university wasn't interested in high life. Okay. And there was nobody writing about it. And now, of course, now we have 2 people who have written their stories. Ganaba wrote his story.
Yeah.
And now we've got Kojo Entry, who's written his story. So I'm beginning to get very optimistic.
Sure.
But let me say something about transmission.
Okay.
Because some people were asking about transmission of information, education. First, I mean, originally, the whole thing about music is you've got to learn it in your infancy. It's not something you come to when you're grown up. Yeah. You learn it as a part of, it's a language. You know, human beings, when we evolved from apes, you know, millions of years ago, language, we say we're different from apes and monkeys because we speak, we're intelligent, but we also learnt to play music.
Okay.
So music is fundamental. If you go back to olden societies, oral societies, children produce, if you want really great musicians in a country, you start when they're about 2 years old. You don't wait until they go to university, number one. And you had it here. You had geniuses. That's how you produced all your music. That's how you produce Highlife, because those generations were exposed to music when they were children. And Nkrumah took this idea and developed it and continued it into the modern age. He emphasized on education of music in education. And that's why Amandzeba and Bibi, so during the pop chains, so many of the people who were great musicians like Bessa, or mention any names, they learned in school.
Yeah.
Then what happened? 1988, PNDC government of all governments, a progressive government, took music out of the education system, and people had to turn towards Burger Highlife, machines and so on, techno-pop. My only answer to the question is, go to the children first. Start teaching music in kindergarten. Forget about universities, museums for elderly people. That's fine. Go back to the schools and get the children interested in music. And it's exactly what Kofi was saying earlier, that the brain can't develop without music. Music is what they call an intellectual toner. If you go to America and you've got two students who've got the same degree and a bank wants to employ them, they'll look for the one who's done music. If he's got that one extra qualification, because if you do music, you know how to work with other human beings, for a start. You have to collaborate. You have mathematical skill. Connection between music and mathematics. Pythagoras. You know, the birth of mathematics. So it's all right. So that's it. Get back to the children.
Okay, this is Showbiz Roundtable, live on Joy 99.7 FM, Joy Prime Television, JoyNews as well. There is another angle of the discussion. Some people have said that maybe the reason we think that Highlife is dying is the fact that we're not paying attention to live band or live music. And one person who has spoken to this issue is Bibi-Mensah. Bibi-Mensah is also a veteran music producer. He was supposed to be part of this panel, but due to certain issues or programs, he's not able to join us today, but we have him on tape. Bibi-Mensah has spoken to the need to do more live music to preserve Highlife.
How we can preserve it? Let's keep on with live bands. Encourage the musicians, keep on with their live bands. I remember the late President Achampon's time, there were bands all over. Army band, police band, prisons band. Bands were all over, playing at Tiptoe, playing at all joints, you know, and the atmosphere was good. It was great. So let's encourage live bands to bring the Highlife again.
Okay, so Bibi-Mensah, the veteran music producer, and he is calling on musicians to bring back live music, live band music. Beatmenace, is this part of the solution? Is this something that is going to help us?
It's certainly part of the solution, especially now in the digital age of streaming, when there's only as much as you can rely on algorithms for.
Yeah.
Right? So you'd realize that the natural trajectory of even some of Africa's current biggest popular exports would, I think Adina mentioned, headlining the O2 Arena, and it's just good business, okay? Secondly, you need to understand that the music business is split into three different facets. There's a recording industry, there's a publishing industry, and there's a touring industry. So we can't call it an industry when it's devoid of any one of these essential elements.
All right.
You understand? So I do agree with him. And also, you need to understand that Mr. Bibi has been living in the diaspora for over 40, maybe so years. You see, I made a point earlier that Ghana's largest musical exports are not our popular artists here. Most of the guys who have been really waving the flag of Ghana high across the globe, we don't celebrate them locally. We don't even know them. We don't know their music. So we need a merging of these seemingly divergent universes to clash as one cohesive unit. Okay? And in this day and age of AI and all of these things, I think, you see, one thing is certain about the human experience. Evolution is inevitable. It's going to happen. You cannot fight evolution and change. AI is here to stay. The two most important things, regulation and ownership, but most importantly, it's going to create a demand for proper musicianship. If not, the machines will take over.
Okay.
So I agree with him.
Amandzeba, you are the chairman of the TGMA board. And some musicians, some industry stakeholders have suggested that maybe the TGMA should put some premium on the Highlife category. Dada Hafko has said it, Apietus has said it, that maybe you should give some prize or incentive. Whoever wins Highlife Artist or Highlife Song of the Year gets something that will encourage them to do more Highlife music. What do you think about that?
I totally disagree. Why should you incentivize people to do what they have to do? Highlife is ours and it's been with us. The problem I think we are facing currently, that there are not too many of us who are interested in that genre. So if we are in the minority, we should go there and whip people up there, Charlie, come and do Highlife music. Charlie, come and do Highlife music. No. In actual fact, in every aspect of our musical career is a calling. Why would I be so stubbornly entrenched in what I do? Because I know where I come from. And I know that the Ghanaian must be the proudest person in the whole world. That knowledge does not desert me. Who taught the first teacher? Nobody. He taught himself. So if you don't teach yourself to think, others will think for you. Why? I mean, why did we, why were we so successful in selling our brand in the 60s when Nkrumah was there? Nkrumah had that vision. How many of us share in that vision? I mean, be yourself, believe in yourself. I think that I've always said it anywhere. People think that when I say that, I'm talking about the visual structures that you see. But Ghana is the most beautiful country in the whole world.
Yeah.
If we are able to get in line to achieve what we are supposed to achieve. Look, everything. Tete Kwashi brought us cocoa. Look at the people who are fighting over cocoa. How many of them, how many of Tete Kwashi's children or his grandchildren or great-grandchildren are enjoying from their grandfather's fruit? You understand? I mean, we tend to really, we never miss our water till the well runs dry.
All right.
That's the thing. So we'll talk about
It's almost time for us to go, but let me do 30 seconds each for everyone. Your final comments, so we say goodbye. Let me start with Beatmenace. 30 seconds. Yeah.
First and foremost, it's a pleasure to be here amongst the distinguished gentlemen and the lady to discuss something that is of importance to us as a people. I hope this conversation just doesn't end here and it actually prompts us to do more instead of just having, entertaining just idealistic ideas, but we should go beyond this point into action.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you, Prof. Your final words, 30 seconds.
Final words, that sounds...
No, your last words. your last words. Your closing remarks.
My closing... No, I mean, well, for a start, I'm amongst friends. Old friends. And even Abby Mensah was my old friend, and I haven't seen him for 40 years. So I was looking at him very carefully to recognize his face.
Yeah. Yes.
Because he worked with Chris Bediaku.
Yeah.
You know, Chris has passed away.
Yeah.
So anyway, I mean, Konimo says libraries on fire. People passing away.
Yeah.
The transmission has to go from one. I'm a grandfather.
Yeah.
So the connection between the parents. Let me put it this way: the family is most important in the world. The family. The American system of single families, nuclear families, no families, test tube families is deadly. You have the families, and the grandparents teach the children and the grandchildren, and that's how the world goes on in circles. And it has to be connected.
Great.
So that's all I can say.
All right, thank you, Prof. Adina?
Highlife music is part of our identity as Ghanaians, and everyone should play their parts to make sure that it's loved, it's accepted, and it's passed down from generation to generation. So in the family settings, please, parents, make it a point to you play some Highlife music. Introduce it to the family. Let it be a staple. And trust me, like, we're going to do much better from this point on.
And you have a new song.
Yes, I do.
Yeah,
it's called
awaiting
Stay
the
Far.
release of the album. It's called?
Yes, Stay Far.
Stay Far.
Yes.
Okay, and you have an album coming in May?
Yes, called Becoming.
Becoming. Wow. Album coming. It's called Becoming.
Becoming, yeah.
All right. Bibi, yeah.
Yeah. All I have to say is something I think I mentioned it earlier. I think we need a national consensus about this moving Highlife forward. We need a national festival which incorporates the very traditional forms of Highlife. I'm very happy about musicians like the Kwampa. I'm so excited, because having seen Faisal do Bassa Bassa, Bunzu, Hejole, all of that, I think the renaissance of groups that are closer to the culture is important. So we need a national festival.
Musica does Highlife Festival every year at Plus 233.
Yes, I know.
Yes.
I know.
And I think they even honored Familia. They gave him some award, the prize for winning the Highlife Artist of the Year.
But that's too small.
Okay.
Yes, please. It's owned by my cousins. They are my people.
All right.
We want a national thing. It must be at the stadium or something like that.
Good.
You bring all the musicians from the diaspora who do Highlife, and let there be an interaction. Great. And then most important, as Beatmenace says, the education, and as Prof said, for the young ones, because at the beginning you showed this Kumasi trio thing. Most of the local musicians I know, the young ones, they don't even know about it.
Yeah.
You see, but Adina doesn't know it. But if you grow up with this knowledge, it influences the music that you compose. So we need to make the Highlife become a true national treasure, and that will move things forward.
Awesome. Amandzeba, closing remarks, 30 seconds.
What is this month? Ghana month?
Yes.
Why couldn't it be Everyday Ghana Day?
Yes. Good.
You give just 1 month to your own. Fridays where Ghana wear and stuff like that. Why won't you be able to?
Wednesday, Fugu.
Let us. Wednesday is Fugu. Okay, now we've got 2 in the week.
Yeah.
But the point is, let's think about it. Let's reorient our thoughts. We have to think about ourselves as Africans and Ghanaians most of all. I think that's, if we are ourselves, we've nailed it.
Thank you very much. We have some comments in here. This one says, hello, Kwame, rich panel you have there. This is a masterclass. Is your panel open to help and for mentorship? Can they, any contact? Do they have any contact location that I can get access to them? Thank you, from Eugene. No. Okay, Eugene. I think we need Highlife Museum to cement the UNESCO recognition. Kweku sent in that one. The problem is not just losing our beautiful Highlife music, it's about losing our entire culture. This current generation is more in love with the other cultures, that is music, dance, food, dress, etc., more than our very own. We can only reserve the narration by agreeing to reset the practice of our culture through a national orientation, beginning with the little ones in preschool. This is Prosper from Dakuman, Accra, and he says the showbiz A to Z. Please scroll up and let me see. We also need Highlife Festival each year during Ghana Month. Kweku sent in that one. Great work, Kwame and the Joy team. I've been following the discussion with keen attention, and I wanted to share a brief perspective. I am Nana Ba Je Akua Kunketia, formerly of GBC Music Department. Wow. The challenges facing the music brand are not just about music, they reflect broader issues in the creative industry. The heart of the problem is lack of structure. In my book, Standardization of the Media, I highlight 11 critical points, of which the most pressing include: 1, no cultural policy. How can we truly develop the nation without a guiding cultural framework? Missing link between music and media. Music accounts for over 70% of media airspace, showing its central role. Please scroll up and let me see this one. It says music absent from school curricula, limiting the development of future talent. And then it says Highlife promotion without supporting live bands, neglecting the ecosystem that sustains our culture, lack of documentation, a historical shortfall of GBC. And these are your comments coming through. It's been amazing having you right here on Joy 99.7 FM, Joy Prime Television, Joy News. This has been the 8th edition of Showbiz Roundtable, and today we spoke about Highlife music. Yes, and Highlife music is our heritage, our culture. And let me say a big thank you to Amandzeba, to you, Bibi, Hammond, Adina, Professor John Collins, Beatmenace, and to my producers, Philip Nye, supported by Anita, Tay, and Martin Kwejo. Sorry, not forgetting the entire crew behind who have made this possible to reach you wherever you are. My name is Kwame Dadzie, and we return next week to Showbiz A to Z on Joy 99.7 FM. Bye-bye.